orange juice and the camera is brokey? Oh well. Um did it just not get turned on? No, it just did not get turned on. That's on me. Then again, it's always a scuffed stream here with me. I guess I can hide Moon for real quick because she is not on call real quick. But she can see herself, so she can have fun with that. Did you ask Pickle Pie? Oh no. That seems interesting. But anyways, good afternoon. How dare. You'll be here shortly. You'll get to come back on anyway. Welcome everybody to the Great Ace Attorney, also known as Great Scuffed Attorney, as apparently everything just keeps breaking. At least today I can tell that my microphone is working. And then we're not 2 hours in realizing that. It's okay, Moon can be Arctic too. God. We are actually about to get into an investigation. And I've been warned. It's a bit, so that it might all be get through today. It's just a whole day's worth of investigation. What I'm hoping to do is I get to go through it. That we get to the great deduction, because Moon has not got to get to a deduction, and those are fun. Without further ado, I think it's time we get Discord pulled up.
Yes, that answers my question.
Yeah, that does answer your question. I'm gonna bring us over.
Look, I have a different icon again. I
Yeah,
can't
you
help
do.
but keep changing it.
Yeah. I didn't.
Also, notice my mouth is kind of see-through.
Kind of see-through. It's fine.
My mouth.
You do.
Ah.
Yeah. Where's? Oh.
You have a thing to show?
What? Something's breaking. I do have a thing to show. You know me, I'm always fixing something on stream.
Oh. Actually, like, pop that in.
Yeah. It'd be helpful.
It might be helpful to actually see the game, not delay.
Yeah.
Just a bit.
My cat's a little bugged, apparently. It's fine. I am gonna bring you over to this corner since there's not 3 of us.
Whoa, I get to join the cat.
You get to join the cat.
Also, we need... Oh, you know what? I should just get art of your cat and myself for when we do stuff together.
That too. That wouldn't be a bad idea.
Me holding your cat.
So
how cute would that be? Admit it. It'd be adorable.
It's fine. You can't make Moon say Persona things. It's
perfect.
So we have not continued since the last time we streamed. So you haven't missed a thing.
Wow.
Yeah. I do need to.
You have to do men voices now too.
No, but you get to meet Iris finally.
Whoa.
I love Iris. She's probably one of my 2 favorite characters in the game. Camera, you good?
Camera's never good.
Camera's never good.
Look, cat's just sleepy.
Yeah. There we go. Yes.
Yeah, it takes work for sure.
It does.
I should know. I've been using Suki for over a year. I don't know how long have I had her around?
That checks out, actually. Because I feel like you
I've been
got
in SOH for over a year, so.
I feel like you got Suki, and then I had to hiatus myself for personal reasons, and I took like almost a year off from being in people's streams.
Suki.
So that kind of checks. I think we've got the cat situated. A plushie. Oh, it's chillit, and I love it.
Oh my goodness.
God, Pal World's fun. I need to play it more, but
yeah, Aurora showed me that already. I mean, how couldn't he, you know?
Mm-hmm. I still can't believe what just happened.
I know. I inquired with the bailiff after the court session was adjourned. And it seems Mr. Vigil was taken to the hospital to recover.
Oh, that's right. Because didn't he like freak out and pass
Oh, yeah.
out?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
from like all the memories and shit coming back to him, he was like, nope.
Yeah, because he was gossip.
Yeah.
I'm curious, did they update the court record to reflect that? No.
No.
No. But what about here? No. Okay. Right. Quote's still brokey blazing.
It's hard to fix though.
It is.
Ask Moon.
And we still gotta figure out where the original quote stuck at. 10 years ago now. Vigil attempted to commit suicide by jumping out of the window of the prison. Really?
Oh, shit.
Ever since then, he's completely blocked the memory of those events from his mind.
Makes sense.
Nobody knew his secrets, not his family, not even the man himself, but I forced it out into the open. Was it wrong to do that? I was smart. Yeah. That's most likely Susie. Oh no, it's Iris.
Oh.
Oh, Iris.
You're miles away. Anyway, I brewed a fresh pot of soothing tea for you.
I did tell you her dad died in the very first case of the first game, and no one's told her, right?
No one's told, little one.
Okay.
Oh.
She's still waiting for him to come home from Japan.
Oh. God damn.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
You and Susie have had an exhausting day so far, haven't you?
Yes, Blazing. He's getting milk.
Oh no, he's getting milk. Oh. Thank you, Iris. How thoughtful of you.
You happen to know where Sholmes is?
God damn.
When he came out of the courtroom back to the defendant's antechamber, he disappeared. I was watching the names,
Oh
Moon.
no, I don't know. He suddenly sprang to his feet and left. All he said was, I must leave. I wonder if he's pursuing the mystery of the Inspector Gregson stuff. Well, you know that Hurley's always saying, don't you? There are mysteries in this world that could perhaps never be solved.
That's concerning.
But the construction of the solution comes only at the expense of the destruction of something else. Damn.
What does that mean?
He knows very well that when you open someone else's old wound, you often open your own too.
Oh.
But he just can't take his own advice and leave well alone. Solving mysteries is too important to him.
I know where this is going, and I don't like where this is going.
Ruh-roh.
That's so true.
But that's what I like about Curly after all.
I suppose that's a lot of great detective in some ways.
So then, let's have tea, and then I'll give you a hand.
You can hear the audio, right?
Yeah.
You can't tell me that Iris's theme is like probably one of the best themes in the game.
It is nice.
Oh, you have time, Iris?
Yes, and I finished this month's manuscript at last, with barely a day left to spare before the deadline.
Yes, Hawk, audio is good because I actually watched it before starting stream today. Not having a repeat of last Saturday.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to it. A brand new story in the adventures of Herlock Sholmes. You know, I always hide Hurley's violin in the days before I have a deadline. Are they not good at the violin?
It's a viola, and he's not good. You do? Poor Mr. Sholmes.
I'm sure that's very wise, Iris. How sensible of you. Now then, my dear fellows, let's make a plan of action before we continue our investigation.
I'm curious if we can find the violin. Usually it's... Yeah, right there.
Eh?
This is Mr. Shulm's famous violin. It's one that he found being sold for a song at a pawnbrokery. What's it? Shidori something?
Oh yes, this wonderful instrument features the adventures of Herlock Sholmes. It's a world-famous Stradivarius.
Yep. It's a brand. Strata what?
Stradivarius, Miss Naruhodo.
Stragavori.
Are you crying now? Get it together, you dummy.
We'll come back to this another time, I think. I wish it would have said more, but... Morning trial.
So, how did it go in court this morning?
Well, we still don't know the truth about what really happened, but one thing's increasingly clear. Lord Van Zieks definitely didn't do it.
Woohoo! Oh, goody! Yes, that's right. We managed to uncover several new facts as well. Oh, really?
And there was another development too. Azuma.
Just a little development.
Yeah, just a
Yes,
little.
it's quite clear now that Kazuma-sama is not himself. The way he's acting, it's almost as if he's possessed.
Like a prosecutor spirit took him or something.
Damn.
I know, I mean, at the end of the proceedings earlier, it was like a bloodhound the way he was chasing down Mr. Vigil's forgotten past. Normally that's so mercifully persistent. What's going on?
Just go inside of his head.
Exactly. I really need to sit down with Cosmo and try to understand what's going on. So, I don't know if you know how investigations work, because I can't remember if you were here for a bit or not. But it's literally going around, asking everyone everything, and presenting evidence to get more clues. And then eventually you'll run into Sholmes and have a deduction.
Deductions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Sholmes' world-famous deductions.
My dear Watson, I think I've got it.
Yeah, Watson's dead.
Well,
That's
I guess
Iris's
so.
dad.
I guess Watson doesn't got this no more.
Because, or it's not Watson, it's Wilson. Yes, John Wilson has died. It's Sholmes and Wilson.
Wilson.
Reaper's innocence. Gregson was really murdered the day before his body was discovered. Lord Van Zieks has to be innocent, see?
What? The day before? Well, then that should be easy enough to work out, just by examining the corpse, surely. Yes, you would expect so, but curiously, no time of death was included on the autopsy report.
Yeah, that's still bugging me. Yeah, Hawk, we talked about that earlier.
That is curious.
Still some unanswered questions about Lord Van Zieks, though, aren't there?
Ah, do you mean...
I mean, what was he doing there on Fresno Street that day in the first place?
According to the man's testimony...
I see he's catching up. He just got online playing Great Ace Attorney.
He said he was investigating Inspector Gregson, didn't he?
Yeah. And it turns out that the little room was actually the inspector's secret office.
Oh, that does sound like he's all making a wonderful devilish plot.
He is an author. Then why was that notice board covered in all those particular papers? Papers about cases with a link to the Reaper. I'm starting to get a bad feeling about all this.
Oh dear, that sounds more like something horribly devilish.
I know, I'm just giving you crap, Hawk.
I can't keep up. Aww. We must start by looking into Inspector Gregson's movements of late.
And as you see, we get more talking points.
Woo!
Gregson's movements. Never imagined I might have been investigating an inspector's movements.
Well, according to the entry in his diary... He was carrying out an incognito investigation of the red-headed leaf the day before his death. Oh, you mean he was doing the same thing as Hurley?
Well, Mr. Sholmes was trying to apply where the inspector was supposed to be investigating.
Oh yeah, was that why he had the red hair on?
Yes,
and shit?
that's why he took a potion that chemically turned his hair red.
Oh.
For Sholmes.
He didn't decide to go the wig route.
No. Gregson, on the other hand, got a wig.
Yeah, he did the smart way. I do wish it had been the other way around.
Anyway, as it turns out, the inspector who went to investigate the Red-Headed League that day wasn't actually Gregson at all. It was Mr. Vigil, in possession of Gregson's identification. That's right, because Vigil had the wig.
That's what that sounds like to me. Establishing an alibi. Oh my! Yes, you're absolutely right, Iris.
Why would Gregson need an alibi?
It would appear that the inspector had something to do that he wished to keep secret. I don't believe it. I always thought that he was just a harmless lover of fish and chips.
So, I don't think you've ever met Gregson, but every time Gregson is talking to us, he just has one hand with a just unlimited fish and chips, and he just keeps eating the chips out of it, and then it just respawns and keeps eating and keeps eating. They killed him, so they ruined their world hunger cure back in the 1800s. Perhaps they were seasoned with something a little more potent than salt and vinegar. You do. Moon?
Trying to fix my eye. Nah, I'm fine.
Are you sure? I don't believe you. Do I need to, like... Okay, it looks... You look unamused, but you look right.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to fix. Because I have my eyes open, but it's like... It's doing what yours is doing.
Well, it doesn't...
Or was doing.
I know it closes my eyes a little bit just because of how my camera's angled.
Oh, I think that's better. I just had to recalibrate it. Okay, there we go. I think perhaps we should try to move away from the food analogies. But food is so good.
Food is amazing. Anyway, Lord Van Zeeks felt the need to investigate Gregson.
Yes, I agree. We must try to find out what he knows.
Mr. Vigil's condition.
Vigil, you say? Isn't that the name of the lady who came to visit Hurley yesterday?
Yes.
That's right. To ask Mr. Sholmes if he would help her to find the missing husband.
Yep.
Oh.
All I did was unplug it because it was fully charged.
Yeah, it's like, oh, hold on,
Hold on, I need a controller.
Who needs a controller to play a game?
Yeah, only Mr. Sholmes completely passed the buck to us. Actually, didn't you say that Mr. Vigil had been taken to the hospital? You know which one?
Let me check my book here. Ah, it's St. Simon's.
Of course it's St. Sinners. Why wouldn't it be St. Sinners? Starting to wonder if all the other hospitals in London have closed down.
That's amazing, Reno. You found the lady's husband already.
Well, I suppose I have, by accident.
Just a little bit of an accident, but that's okay. And 10 years ago, while Mr. Vigil was chief warden at the prison, he was responsible for overseeing the professor's incarceration. No!
So when the convict escaped, he was held responsible and immediately dismissed.
Oh, sometimes I really don't want to grow up. Aww.
There's more.
You're gonna be saying that even more if anyone tells you. I mean, what?
Yeah. There's more. For 10 years after that, while he was constantly working as a peddler, he also had another secret job. He was paid by Gregson to be a stand-in, to impersonate the inspector.
To impersonate Gregsy? But why?
I have absolutely no idea.
Ginny was right. I'm starting to think all adults are up to no good now.
Or Ginny.
Oh. Including you, Runo.
What? I haven't paid anyone to impersonate me.
That means he has ties to the professor and to Inspector Gregson, though. So I do think we ought to pay a visit to Mr. Vigil, don't you?
To St. Sinners, then.
Yay! Hospital!
Yay, hospital trip.
Well, I think it's clear what we do, isn't it? Let's investigate, my dear fellows. Oh, Iris! You're even more enthusiastic than usual today. If anyone has anything to hide, my special Wilson shooting iron will soon set them straight.
Uh-oh. She's got a gun!
I hope not a real one.
We know this one at least shoots powder. I don't know if it shoots projectiles.
Boy.
Because it's the same gun that Ginny has. Ginny stole one of her 2 guns.
Oh, water pistol.
No,
There you
water
go.
pistol?
It's stuffed full of piping hot extra special blend of mine.
So it's a T-gun.
Oh my god. Then I'm quite sure it'll be very effective.
Gotta be careful not to hide anything. Well,
I'm gonna
feels a
blast you! Boom!
Yep. It feels a little strange that Mr. Sholmes is nowhere to be seen, but still. Let's see what we can find out.
Yeah! Whoa, time to move location.
Yup.
Yeah!
I don't know if you noticed, but like every location you go to, the companion that's with you always has a little blurb about it. It's usually Susato, but when Susato was back in Japan, it was Iris for a bit.
Gotcha.
It's like in November, St. Sinners Hospital, Ward 3. He's not here.
Oh. Well, there's a clipboard. Oh, clipboards all over the place.
Yeah. Look at these. Oh look, a pair of crutches. Before we came to Britain, I hadn't realized it was.
I imagine they were imported into Japan from Great Britain in the first place.
So no one in all of Japan broke a leg before their arrival? Anyway, the sight of these things doesn't bring back any good memories for me.
Oh dear, did you injure yourself once when you used them?
I was little, I thought they looked fun, so I borrowed a pair to play with.
Oh no.
Then I slipped and sprained my ankle.
I see.
They contain powerful magic deals with the staffs. The power to heal and the power to harm.
I think a certain cheeky little boy managed to cause the harm all by himself.
Yup.
Good job.
Recalibrate mine. I actually adjusted my camera a little bit.
I feel it's my glasses all the time that get in the way.
Could be. Patient treatment notes. What do they say over there? Endlessly obliging? I suppose that's referring to the patient in this bed.
I would think so. And, Mr. Vigil is a little more stable. And it's probably just as well that he has a kindly person in the neighboring bed.
The endlessly part is a little worrying though, isn't it? I mean, what if Mr. Vigil suddenly declared that he'd like to take a trip out the window?
God!
Would this endlessly obliging patient simply open it for him and say, "Be my guest"?
Let's check with the doctor later.
I think Rar's been here.
Rar.
Demonstration for the win. Rar, I don't think you've seen the new cat.
Meow!
Meow.
Wait, I'm not a cat.
No, not yet at
But I
least.
can be.
Look what Moon has done to me. It's making me spend my own money. It is adorbs. Green screen.
Totally adorbs.
Green screen.
Sorry, I don't know my own hotkeys.
I could just go to your channel and hit redeem cat, can't I?
No, setup's not open anymore.
Oh, how dare you.
I'm not gonna give people the power to change me. I can frown.
Up the
I did
patient.
remember to close mix it up, I think.
Did you?
Who knows? One way to find out.
This must be the patient treatment. And this needs to jump from windows.
Oh.
Remember to place cushion at base of wall outside.
Somehow I don't think a cushion is gonna be enough sometimes.
We're on the second floor.
Oh, okay, maybe a cushion will help a little bit.
I believe it said second floor at least. Oh yeah, we're a story up from the ground. So yeah, we're second floor.
Oh dear, poor Mr. Vigil.
Can't help feeling there's a better solution to the problem than a cushion, though. Finding something you'd lost isn't always a happy experience, it turns out. Saying the truth can be very dark business sometimes, can't it?
Oh yes, I'm afraid it can. Check mark.
Yeah, that just means we've looked at it. The medicine cabinet's not gonna show us anything. That just says... I think we need to come back here. Notice caught my eye before, actually.
I suppose it's some sort of slogan for the ward? A cheerful welcome message, perhaps?
Let's see. Pay with good cheer, leave with good cheer. Hey, look at that. You were spot on, Miss Susato. It's full of cheer.
I wonder how many discharged patients pay their medical bills with good cheer, though.
Once I had to have a very painful injection when I fell ill with a cold. I felt awful already, so why did I have to suffer the sting of an injection as well as the bill? I yelled at the doctor.
Oh dear, what a terrible treatment.
I guess we need to go somewhere else, because he's not here. I guess we need to talk to Lord Van Zeeks first.
We're going to prison. No.
Yeah, well, we're not on the inside, though.
True.
Local prison cell 1. Look at Iris in her little hat to cover her hair buns.
That's adorable. Lord Van Zeek is reading. Look. He doesn't seem like he wants visitors, does he?
Never. But he must have noticed that we're here, surely. Speaking of, be ready for bombshell. Oh, God. That's not the spoiler I want to hear from my moderator who's playing alongside us.
Oh, my.
What do you Nipponese want? That's no way to greet the lawyer who's trying his hardest to prove you're innocent, is it? Perhaps not. Hmm? I apologize.
That's nicely.
So what can I do for you, Mr. Naruhodo?
Lord Van Zeeks, speaking earnestly? Oh, the fog will lift from over London for the first time in months tomorrow.
This does feel very, very strange. He doesn't take kindly to the Nipponese because of Kazuma's dad kind of killing his brother.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. I must say, I was impressed. Oh, well, thank you. Not by you, by your fellow Nipponese prosecutor friend.
Damn.
Oh, I see. Yes. Sardonic, don't you think? For a man such as me, so loathing of the Nipponese, to be entirely at the mercy of the two of you. I suppose. It's retribution for having played the part of the Reaper all these years. Played the part? Well, I now have questions. Reaper's eye out of here. So you once told me that you gladly allowed people to believe you were the believe you were the Reaper because it helped reduce the amount of serious crimes that took place in London. Keeping quiet and playing the part benefits the cause, and a cause I myself am committing to pursuing. Then why would I choose to say anything? But the henchman of a criminal killed by the Reaper attacked you only the other day. That was just the most recent of many attempts on your life, wasn't it? Someone is clearly profiting from your silence about all this. Someone is using you. Believe me, ever since the Reaper first appeared, I've been doing my utmost to expose him. Or rather, expose the organization.
Ah! It's a whole organization?
It's inconceivable that all those accidents were orchestrated by one man. No, the Reaper always appears to have very accurate information about the accused in each case. Which can only mean that somebody at Scotland Yard is involved. Oh! Bombshells was serious. I can tell that Moon's on the phone just based off her model. You can't mean. It's taken me many years, but I've finally identified the central figure in the Reaper organization. Tobias Greggs. What? Okay. You weren't kidding about bombshells. No. No! Gregson, the Reaper? Well... So the reason you were investigating Inspector Gregson is because you intend to expose him as the Reaper? As I said, the Reaper of the Bailey is no single person. Highly secret organization with close ties to Scotland Yard. But there's no doubt Gregson was a key member of the organization.
I don't believe it.
I was expecting you to have a little bit longer of a phone call.
No, it's just about the haircuts and that.
Okay.
My appointment's at 4:15. Are you saying that that he was behind all those awful criminals, meaning they're... Oh boy.
Gregson didn't do the dirty work himself.
Oh!
He was the tactician. His job was to covertly investigate the marks and plot their assassinations.
Well, shit.
In order to do that without arousing suspicion, he regularly needed a firm alibi. Where Mr. Vigil came in, posing as the inspector. Vigil knows nothing of the Reaper. The room he rents on Fresno Street was almost certainly the headquarters of this operation. Gregson would have met the assassin there for briefings. We don't actually know who carried out the killings then. Actually, I do have a name. You what?
Well, if you can name the man, you have the true identity of the Reaper already then.
Or, if I can name the woman.
Oh.
She's a young woman by the name of Asa Shin. Wait, what? Shin? Oh. Oh no.
Someone from the past.
Specifically Case 1 of Game 1 and Case 1 of Game 2.
Holy shit.
Yes, so this...
These are really all connected.
Yes, these two at least. This is Miss Jeziel Brett, a foreign exchange student from Britain studying under Susato's dad in forensic medicine. She stole a poison and she kind of got someone murdered. Then she got murdered at the start of this game because somebody did not happy that she was basically getting away scot-free.
Well, damn.
And she apparently knows the murderer. Hey, there's the... Oh, wait. She is Asa Shin? Am I getting
I think
it?
that's what... I don't know.
She came as posting as a visiting student and murdered Dr. John H. Wilson. Just seemed that diplomatic protection would help her escape Japan and conviction. She is. Oh, okay. That's what I got mixed up. mysterious woman herself was murdered in a small summer beach hut. Yep. That woman was actually the Reaper of the Bailey? God, this really is getting intertwined.
Listener, perhaps isn't the place to discuss?
No, of course not. You can't mention it here. The fact that she killed Dr. John H. Wilson. Yeah. Yeah, we can't mention that here.
Oh shit.
The kid's here. We can't do that.
Oh.
Because Iris doesn't know, and it's very likely that the man was her father.
Asa Shin. I should let father know at once.
Yes, I agree. It's Peter Asogi. Kazuma, isn't it? Kazuma Asogi? You say he's a friend of yours. My best friend. It's the whole reason I got to come to Britain. It was all on his merits. I have nothing but respect for him. Yes, I understand that only the very best students are selected for such opportunities. I had a fine demonstration of how sharp he is in proceedings earlier today. He missed nothing. In fact, his flawless performance very much reminded me of his father, Kenshin Isagi, the professor. It's true that the aristocracy at the time was the root of the numerous grave societal problems. They're abusing their power, playing with the common man as pawns in politics, in economics, in war. Anyways, Sogi was carving out a canker from the society that we British couldn't deal with ourselves. Ah, I see. That's precisely why it makes no sense. Clint Van Zieks was a noble and upstanding man. He wasn't corrupt. Why did that damn Nipponese have to go and take my brother's life? In spite of having once saved mine. What? He saved your life? Yeah, how did that happen? 10 years ago. On a foggy night. Everything around the professor is 10 years ago because that's when
10 years ago.
Because that's when the professor case happens. Everything's 10 years ago because that's the past point that always gets looped back in.
Right.
You'll see this happen with DL6 in the very first trilogy. Actually, within the very first game. Your foggy night, what was to be the professor's final strike had sent a wave of panic through it. Clint had already been killed at this point then. Genshin and I were walking down some back streets at a late hour. Of course, at that point, I had no idea of the true nature of the man at my side. All of a sudden... Don't make a peep, you're coming with us. We were surrounded. All of our assailants were armed with pistols, their faces obscured by scars. Clint was not only from noble heritage, but he was a brilliant prosecutor as well. The scum of London hated the sight of him, and they had no sympathy for his younger brother either. I'd been targeted several times before already. Yeah, it's Van Zieks, alright. We've got him.
Dum, dum, dum.
I could hear them murmuring amongst themselves. I knew they were after me. Just when I thought my time had come, I let them kill you. Clint would never forgive me. Sogi's voice, just whisper in my ear. Bang.
I swear, a lot of people just need to have a bulletproof vest.
Apparently. After that, I don't remember exactly what happened. The next thing I knew, there was silence all around. Genshin lay on the cobbled street. Blood was seeping from his left hand. He shielded me. That sounds familiar.
Goddamn. How dare.
You're welcome. A few days later, they arrested him. On suspicion of being London's most notorious mass murderer ever. The Professor. Genshin had an impact on society. Rest in peace. Even though he was the mass murderer.
How awful for you.
All at once, I lost the brother I revered and the foreign friend I held in such high regard. So sorry, Lord Venzeeks.
Damn.
Yeah. That's the end of my miserable tale. I never thought I'd recount it to anyone. Well, thank you for confiding in me.
Professor, the Reaper, and Inspector Gregson. I wondered how just intimately related they all are.
I still can't quite believe that Gregson was essentially the Reaper. Being kept busy. I'm sorry, Hawk. Giving assassination orders to Jesse L. Brett.
Mr. Naruhodo, let's go and inform my father.
Sure. That's you.
I'm sure government will want to hear about this new information. Oh, that means that you meet your daddy, Susie. Hooray!
Yes, alright.
Oh.
Let's go back to the Great Waterloo Hotel then. I hope Mikatoba doesn't say anything to her.
I don't believe we visited this place, blah blah blah.
I have, you haven't.
Well, that's what I just said. Do you not listen to me, Naruhodo?
Susato was here. She met her dad. Yes, you weren't here, Moon.
But she was just saying in the bottom corner that she hasn't been there. When you were on the traversing screen.
We'll see.
Yeah, the game's lying to me. I thought it was yesterday and think again today. This place is so princely.
It's a wild guess, but I have a feeling you'll think the same tomorrow, too.
My tea has the finer fragrance than whatever you're serving the tea in the room here, though, wouldn't you say?
Ah, look who we have here. This is an unexpected pleasure.
Oh, I didn't know that they would send me a text. That's hilarious. Oh, father. The hairdressing place sent me a text. Oh, is this your daddy, Susie? How lovely.
What a charming young lady. And you are...
Your worst nightmare.
Yes. Oh, really? So you're the author of The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes, are you?
That's me. Iris Wilson, at your service, sir. Susie's been such a wonderful friend to me over the last year, you know.
Well, Miss Wilson, I must say I read your work regularly and with much interest.
Iris actually lives with Mr. Sholmes, you know, father.
Is that so? Well, perhaps that goes some way to explaining the bright look in your eyes. Wouldn't be smiling so airily if you knew just how bright she is, believe me. Now then, young Naruhodo, it was a pleasure seeing you in action earlier. As an invitee at the symposium, I was allowed to observe from the gallery, after I twisted some arms. Please, no...
twisting people's arms.
Please, no, Susato... Or not Susato takedowns or anything. And I must say, it was a truly exemplary performance. Oh, well, thank you very much. Though I'm fairly sure you omitted by Kazuma on the end there. No. Please don't misunderstand. It was you who impressed me. Really?
I mean, you were both impressive, right?
You didn't miss a step against Asogi, and we all know how capable he is. Really, you to have matured to such a fine defense lawyer in less than a year is quite extraordinary. It's very kind of you to say so. Really nice to hear. What I saw in court today confirmed what I'd been hoping for. The favor I mentioned yesterday, Naruhodo. Trust you haven't forgotten? Oh, no, you did mention something, didn't you?
At first, we have something to report, father.
Of course. Shall we take tea while we discuss the matters further?
Yeah, I'll shoot you some out of my gun.
Wonder where Judge Jikoku has got to. Because, you know, the judge that was trying me for trial in the very first case is with him on this trip. Not the Reaper.
father, do you know about the so-called Reaper of the Veil?
I've heard rumors. Some members of the judiciary explained it all to me yesterday. Of course, when I was a visiting student here in London, the Reaper was yet to emerge. Right, he didn't appear until after that case when the visiting students had already returned home. Lord Van Zieks, who was in the dock today. That was Barra, the younger brother of Clint Van Zieks, I believe.
That's right. And he's known thoroughly throughout London as the Reaper, as you've heard. And the truth is, it wasn't him behind all those mysterious deaths, it was somebody else.
I see. So what you're saying is, there's been a professional killer at work here. Exactly. Someone by the name of Asa Shin, in fact. I beg your pardon? Did you just say Asa Shin?
Yes?
You mean the Jezebel Brett woman who was responsible for killing my great friend? You're not doing this right now, Mikatoba, right? Iris is right here.
Uh-oh. Oh no! The friend of yours was killed?
Professor Mikatoba, I think perhaps we should discuss this right now.
He's like, oh.
Because the friend the professor's talking about is Dr. John H. Wilson. That's not something we want Iris to find out about. Not like this, anyway.
You gotta tell her eventually, man.
We do! I don't like this next title. I do not like this next title.
Look, just beat around the bush. You both know who you're talking about. Ah, I've just remembered something. Biscuits! This hotel has the most delicious looking biscuits.
Thank you, Susie. That was rather out of the blue.
No, it's not. Just go along with me. God damn it, shut up!
She's doing this deliberately.
I think I'll go and see if I can purchase some. I wonder, would you like to come too, Iris, by any chance? You know, kind of give the boys a little space. Oh, yeah. You just try to leave me behind.
Thank you, Susie. So that young girl is called Iris Wilson, is she? Yes, that's right.
Together.
Yeah. And she's the author of all those her stories starring the great Detective Sholmes. The name of the accredited author isn't Iris, is it? It's Dr. John H. Wilson. Yes, I know. That's the name of her father, you see. Her father? John H. Wilson. I was deeply indebted to the man for all the kindness he showed me during my time in London. That's why I was keen to reciprocate and invite him to the Imperial Yume University 4 years ago. He was murdered last year by Jezebel Brett. Why? Why would the Hand of the Reaper stretch all the way to Japan? Iris knows nothing about the case. It seems very likely that the victim, Dr. Wilson, was her father. Well,
I'd be like mistaken on that
Stevens
somehow.
never spoke about his family, so I don't know if he had a daughter or not. I think we can say with some certainty, he was never the great detective's partner. Could have been another Dr. Wilson, you think? No, John and Wilson are both common names after all. Still, it's probably best not to mention this to the young lady until we can be sure. That's what we thought, yes.
Ah, with thin biscuit.
Yep.
He almost came in there too soon.
Yeah, these smell delicious, Iris.
I think cinnamon will go very well with the tea they serve here. Don't you, Susie? Yes, I'm sure you're right, Iris.
Judge Chikoku.
Back on track.
Correct. I haven't seen Judge Chikoku for a while, have you? Guilty. Ho 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 ho. But that guilty is still ringing in my ears. No, now you mention it, I haven't seen him since this morning either. So since the symposium's opening was postponed, you have gone to explore the great exhibition.
Reminded me of something you mentioned yesterday. About Judge Shinkoku having once been on the dock himself?
Oh yeah, we haven't found out about this. Oh yes, it was all tied up with that accursed trial. Closed trial of Cosmo's father. Cheshire was trying to mitigate Genshin's guilt, so he took to the stand to testify. But he got a little carried away and actually managed to break the witness stand.
Oh no. Oh my. He's a strong man.
Yeah, you saw it in the flashback picture. He also said some contemporary words about the British Empire, for which he was charged. Oh dear. Well, it's worrying to easily imagine him doing that. Well, it was alright in the end. He was acquitted and we returned to Japan together.
Thank goodness.
Oh yes, talking of Shashiro. I have a copy of the photograph we all took together here yesterday. Please.
You're so
nervous.
Just arms back, shoulders forward. Ah,
What a
stand
lovely
straight.
picture. It seems to show we've arrived in Britain. Add it to the record.
We'll totally need that later.
Sometimes stuff gets added to the court record to be used outside of court, and that's it. We might use it on our investigation, you never know. None of us had the idea of what was coming when we took that, did we?
No, that's so true.
Favor. So you mentioned a favor that you'd like to ask me. Well, this fateful trial that you're fighting, one way or another, it will be over before long. And when it is, I'd like you to accompany me back to Japan. Ugh. You want me to do...
What? Father, what's the meaning of this?
No, Suzuto, you should understand. You've seen how our courts work firsthand. Japan's judicial system is in its infancy, especially when it comes to defense.
Oh,
The Supreme Court of Judicature is in desperate need of a good defense lawyer. As soon as possible. Really, quite urgently, in fact. But I've not even been in London a year yet. I've read all of Suzuto's reports. I'm well aware of your extraordinary talents. Having seen you in action with my own eyes earlier today, there's no question. You, Naruhodo, are precisely the man our country needs.
damn. So you'd be leaving then, Bruno?
Look at her eyes. She's tearing up.
The bubbly eyes.
I have one in here somewhere. There it is. I know I've got one in here.
Here, I'll join you. But then, what am I supposed to do, Father?
Who came here to serve as the Soviet's judicial assistant. Oh yes, she's supposed to be Kazuma's assistant.
Oh, then.
The government is still in the process of deciding how best to deal with the situation. You've always chosen your own path, Suzuto. And I trust your judgment in this matter also.
Well, Father!
Please, the pair of you, don't look so downcast. It's merely a suggestion, you understand. I hope, if I'm honest, but I won't force you. All I ask is that you consider it. Come to a decision by the time this trial concludes.
Oh, dang.
Yes, alright.
Quite the decision.
Yeah.
You won't leave, will you, Bruno? How can you leave a face like that?
I know. Thought it hadn't even crossed my mind. Up until now, I've just been trying to do what I believe to be Cosmo's will. Turns out, he's still alive. So, where does that leave me? Yeah, our whole purpose to come here was to carry out his will when we thought he was dead. Well, if you excuse me now, I need to telegram governor ministers and the Japanese police with this information about Asashi.
Of course, Father.
forward to next month's installment, Miss Wilson.
Oh, good. And please do come Baker Street sometime, won't you? We'd love to entertain you.
So gung-ho, I love it. I would be delighted. But best of luck tomorrow, Naruhodo. And give my suggestion for your full consideration, won't you? Yes, I will. Mind back. But is it truly home?
You know, Kazuma, Sama has always meant a great deal to my father. I'm sure he'd love the chance to meet with him and talk to him about all this.
Yes, no doubt.
Asashin.
Of course, it's so obvious.
Or is it? Oh.
How could I have neglected to consider the possibility before now? Ah, Sholmes, always when you don't need it. Mr. Sholmes!
Hurley, where have you been?
Why, I joined you all for tea, of course. What an extraordinary question.
I didn't notice you at all.
No matter, no matter. Anyway, to more pressing concerns. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? I must dispatch a telegram to your country at once. It is a matter of much urgency. And you mean? Tell me, to whom I can entrust the task. Quickly now. Who?
Who? Ah, well. My father is just...
No, that's you.
Oh no, I was right. It's on the telegram to the Imperial Police Bureau, Japan himself. Once you started talking, I'm like, oh shoot, did I not read the name again?
No, I didn't read the name. You got me this time. I see. Well, you looked reliable enough for a bearded fellow.
I don't think my father's sports could be considered a beard, Mr. Holmes.
Sholmes.
He has a beard, right? Yeah, look how big it is. Look at that beard.
It's a mustache.
No, it's a beard. Didn't you know beards are the ones that are above your lip?
I'm gonna take offense to that.
Why ever would you take offense, sir?
Can't see it because I'm a cat. But you know why. You know why
I have no
take
idea
offense.
what you're talking about, Mr. Naruhodo.
Sure, Susie. It's not a moment to lose. I kindly ask your trusty unshaven father to see this is sent.
I will, but what is it?
No questions at this time, if you please, Miss Susato.
What is it, sir? God damn it!
All we can do is pray. That for once, my deduction is awry. Doesn't that include your directions are normally correct, Mr. Sholmes? And then he's like, no then! You may be surprised to learn that I'm a very busy man. Certainly have no time to hide behind settees and eavesdrop on other people's conversations.
But you did.
That's what joining us for tea meant. Leave the sending of this in your hands then, my dear fellows. Oh, wait a minute, Mr. Sholmes!
Mr. Sholmes! He just sort of ran off, didn't he? Quite a pace.
And left the unpaid bill for his tea behind, too.
What sort of nerve is that? We don't want Naruhodo, you take the bill, bye! I must have my father at the telegraph office at once.
Is it in the court record? Of course it's not.
Oh, and I'll run and grab us a cab. Straight away! What are you gonna do? Gun them down?
You can wave him down. There was
With her
me
gun.
thinking everyone would be clamoring to pay Mr. Sholmes' bill.
Hey, I said I was gonna leave you the bill. Bye!
The grand place, father seems certainly be some luxuries, right? That was for the hospital bed. Which is,
it was for some time. I didn't get that part.
yeah. I'm thinking we do need to go back to the hospital bed.
Eventually, because we want to actually talk to him, but he has to be there.
So legal consultancy is only if you're lost. We started at Sholmes. You have not gone and seen Lord Strongheart. We were just here. We can't go to the governor's office. We've already spoke to Lord Banzies. I don't know if we need to go to the crime scene. Alright, let's just see if he's back.
You have some time.
That's a good sign. It's playing the timestamp again.
This is the ward where Mr. Vigil was brought, apparently.
To be frank, I'm a little
Hi,
worried about
Frank.
seeing him again. Hey, he is here now.
Oh.
Ah, the lawyer. Hello again.
Are you feeling better now, Mr. Vigil?
Yes, thank you. Somewhat better. So sorry to have caused you to. I mean, it was because of me. I hadn't exposed your secret and forced you to remember things you obviously tried to forget. The prosecutor was here until a few minutes ago, too. You just missed him. Cosmo beat us to it.
Of course he did.
And much the same as you, he was very apologetic. Truth is, I brought all this upon myself. Please don't think like that.
God damn that hand.
Those hands are so weird. Eat from Evie, my wife, all these years.
Only because the
There's
thumb
a
is
sense of
facing
guilt.
outwards. Like, that's just awkward.
I'm
to
trying to
do.
do it right now, and it feels so weird.
It just hurts your arm. Your arm's not supposed to bend.
I
like
know, twisting my hand is like so weird.
that. Right?
It's not the worst of it.
And he does it so smoothly, too.
I know. Poor time. I obviously came to deceive myself as well.
You mean about your dismissal?
Looking back now, I'm beginning to think that perhaps Inspector Gregson didn't stumble across me by accident at all. I mean, he compensated me so generously for acting as a stand-in. He was clearly concerned for my well-being and doing what he could to help. Perhaps Gregson knew exactly what had become of Mr. Vigil all along then. Sure, this is just deserts for 10 years of lies and deception, but it wasn't me that helped the professor escape 10 years ago. It wasn't me. I swear it's true. I mean, he has no reason to. He'd lose his job.
Oh, Mr. Vigil.
Sure, you'd rather not dredge up even more from years past at this time, but if possible, could you possibly tell us exactly what really happened? I want to. I need to get this all off my chest. I just want someone to tell me what I should have done.
I mean, shoulda, coulda.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
It's the past.
Gregson's request. Inspector Gregson was obviously engaged in a special operation of some sort. He was investigating something even Scotland Yard couldn't know about. Tales of the Reaper's marks, yes. It was when he had to carry out those investigations. I would take his identification personally. To be the inspector and carry out investigations on his behalf. Ooh, oh no, never. A common street peddler couldn't possibly carry out a proper police investigation. All I would do is go to the specified location, make a little hoo-ha. Just something to leave an impression, so everyone there would think a detective called Gregson was there.
So, that's what you were doing the day of the prior to the incident.
Yes, he asked me to make an appearance at the park on Lime Street for the Red-Headed League event. So as usual, I flashed the inspector's identification around and was very vocal about my presence.
But then you were taken prisoner by those red-headed fraudsters.
Yes, so, do you always make a point of showing Gregson's identification and generally being loud? That's what the inspector asked me to do, yes.
Well, that's one way of becoming a legendary detective, I suppose. Not a good one, though.
As you know, I suffered this bruising around my neck at their hands. The following day, they kept their word and released me. without returning the inspector's identification to you, however. He had arranged to meet in the Fresno Street room at 5 that day so I could report back to the inspector. At the agreed time, that's when I heard the gunshot. Prison escape. It was at midnight on the 17th of June, 10 years ago. That was the time scheduled for its execution. The professor's execution never actually took place, did it?
Or that the execution itself must have been used to effect the escape plan. The plan of escape.
Both work.
I hardly dare to imagine what the chilling plan it was.
Barclay was renowned for being the highest security prison in the country. Everything that went in or out of the place was searched multiple times. That's slow. But there was one notable exception. Or rather, one notable loophole. Something that was never questioned. I have a feeling I know what that loophole was now. Coffins into which the bodies of the executed convicts were placed, correct? Yes. Once the coroner had confirmed the death of a condemned convict, the body was taken in its coffin for immediate burial in Lowgate Cemetery just behind the prison. The warder had to sign the necessary papers. And after that, no member of staff was permitted to touch the coffin containing the body again. The executions took place. Only the executioner and the coroner were permitted inside the chamber. I would wait in the adjacent room for word that the condemned convict was dead. On that occasion, once I had confirmation, I went to the mortuary and to find a lone coffin as usual. The procedure was that I would sign the paperwork, have checked the coffin, then nail it shut. For some reason, that day, the coffin was already nailed shut.
No!
I didn't think anything of it at the time. I assumed that the deputy must have checked the coffin and nailed it shut before I arrived. So you mean the coffin contained... Yes,
Yeah.
only imagine. That Asogi, having escaped its execution somehow, was alive inside the coffin.
Dang.
The coffin was taken out through the main gates and deposited in Lowgate Cemetery. This explains how,
Really, there wouldn't have been enough air inside to breathe for long.
in the early hours following the burial, somebody dug up the coffin again to get the free.
But in the end, it was fatally shot in the graveyard anyway. What on earth really happened in Lowgate Cemetery that night, I wonder?
I'm afraid I don't really know. All I can say is that certainly there's two things. Sogi couldn't possibly have escaped that way without help from somebody working in the prison. That somebody is not me.
Damn.
But obviously, you knew the man then. The professor, I mean. Genshin Asogi. Yes, I remember him well, in fact. Would you mind telling us what you know? Well, having been condemned to death as he was, any contact I had with the man was short, obviously. After the trial, which carried out behind closed doors, attended only by elite members of the judiciary, they called for his execution to be carried out at the earliest possible opportunity. The outcome of the trial was set from the beginning, wasn't it?
It was the time of delicate diplomacy, and Britain and Japan were in the process of signing an important treaty. That meant that the eventually reestablishing the case had to be dealt with swiftly and damn.
Yeah, they didn't want another war. And had less than a week in total. As I was the chief warder, I oversaw his short stay in the cells until his final hour. I remember being struck deeply by his noble character, incredible resilience. What do you mean exactly? He was a killer of many men. He was always quiet and quiet. He was a gentleman and a man of intellect. In fact, I couldn't bring myself to believe what he'd done, so I asked him one day. Those 5 members of the aristocracy whose lives were taken, are you really responsible? Guilty of the forgivable crime of unending another human's life, yes. The following day, the closed trial took place. The verdict was no surprise. Guilty. At night, he was brought back to his cell. He saw something. Something unusual. Something unusual? What? The last will and testament. Genshin Asogi.
Asogi's will.
As I said, it was on the night following his trial, after he had been found guilty. I was doing the rounds of the cells when I looked into Asogi's. I noticed that he seemed to have had a sheet of paper in his hand. Ah, his last will and testament, then. What? As soon as he noticed me, he shoved it behind his back.
But why would you find that so unusual? Isn't it normal for a man to pen a will when he knows his death is nigh?
Yes, that's true. But there were special conditions to Asogi's incarceration, you see. Sort of conditions. No, though he was held in a cell designated for his condemned inmates. He was allowed to keep his personal effects with him. One exception. Really? He was allowed his things. This is unusual. Of course, he'd been convicted of killing 5 members of the aristocracy. At the same time, he was a guest in our country. Powers were to be determined, and his final days shouldn't be needlessly uncomfortable.
And what was the exception you mentioned to the personal effects he was allowed?
That's the point. He wasn't permitted to have writing materials. Specifically, no pens or paper.
So, he was prevented from leaving any written record of what happened to him.
Yes, that was the long and the short of it. No idea where he obtained that paper. Any writing materials would be confiscated upon his incarceration. As I said, he had the paper behind his back and completed it. Did you just hide behind your back? Please turn a blind eye. This is my lifeline. No, it's against the rules. And the only person seen is if you just agree to keep quiet.
Damn.
Alright then. What's on that paper? Last will and testament. This will is the only weapon I have left now. Can a will be a weapon? So I decided to pretend I'd seen nothing, and I let him keep his will. But then later, it just seemed to have vanished without trace. What? What do you mean it vanished?
It's vanished! It seemed that is the end of the story of this mysterious will.
Will's disappearance. I was the only person who saw Sogi's will, but somehow it disappeared. It was after Sogi's execution.
Which was actually an elaborate jailbreak.
Wait. I think I know where we can find this will. Ward has gathered up Sogi's possessions that were in his cell. They are all to be sent back to his family home in Japan, you see.
Poor Kazuma-sama.
You're saying that it wasn't anywhere to be found among his personal effects? Well, I mean. That's right. Though I didn't search through them myself. Governor Kaden was livid, screaming, "I cannot have disappeared completely."
That doesn't quite make sense, though. has it?
What way?
Well, we'd understood that only Mr. Vigil was aware of the will's existence. In which case, how did the prisoner governor know to look for it?
Dun, dun, dun.
What
Not
were they
the
looking for?
Oh yes, you're right. Really don't know how he knew, but it certainly seemed as though he knew of the will's existence from the outset. He didn't refer to his will. What he said was the Asogi papers. The Asogi papers. I really can't tell you anything of the subsequent events. Because, well, what happened? You blocked it all from your memory. I've forgotten all this until today. I don't suppose it's relevant to the case then. Well, anyway, thank you very much for sharing it with us, Mr. Vigil. We'll be very grateful. I'm afraid there's really little more I can tell you. My wife Evie will be here shortly, so I do hope I don't appear rude, but... No, not at all. Thank you again.
What will become of you now?
Well, impersonating a police officer is a criminal offense, of course. I imagine once I'm fully recovered, I shall be arrested. So sorry. Don't be, please. This was all my doing. I always knew that this day would come. You can't tell me that this isn't like Pharaoh's, like his whole demeanor. 'Cause that's the voice
Right?
I've been going for.
Love it.
I wish you well. Goodbye, Mr. Vigil. Whoopsie.
Oh god.
Before we go, there's just one thing. Oh,
Jesus
yes.
Christ. Calm down, sir.
What is it? I almost fell way too far back. The Asogi papers. Be very grateful if you make no mention of the things I told you about them. Simply for some good reason. It's my understanding that their very existence is a closely guarded secret.
Interesting.
If it became known that I'd remembered, well, it could be rather troublesome, I think. Like the Reaper. I understand. Some sort of willed against him just before his death. The man himself claims his last weapon. I wonder. Perhaps it had something to do with his plan to escape. That's exactly what I was thinking. Is there anyone who would know more about the document that Cosmo's father left behind?
It would be Mr. Vigil's governor. They know precisely where we must go. Back to the Barclay prison.
No. That's not what I thought. But... we don't have it as an option, do we? No, we don't. So in the previous case, one of the spots we had to visit was Madame Tuspel's wax museum.
Yeah.
And they had the professor coming out of the grave. I thought the note would have been in his coffin.
Yeah.
Because she was there examining the dead body at the graveyard. Obviously, that's not the case anymore. You can't tell me his bird's not a cram rat. Arch, back again, are you? Yes? Hello? I've heard all about your investigations.
That's
I read
it.
the report
I quit.
just now. Found him, eh, Vigil? Yes, luckily. Well, anywho, the laddie doesn't even work here no more, so your case is not to do with Barclay. I wouldn't like you to get the wrong idea about that.
I hate it.
Why do you hate it here, Moon?
I hate it.
Why do you hate it here? Why do you hate it here?
I fire him.
Yeah, he's the governor. He fires you.
Oh no, I fire him.
Yes, of course. Mr. Vigil stopped working here 10 years ago now, so...
Yeah, we've seen his dismissal notice, haven't we? He was given the chop. Chop!
Just like that clock tower back there. Hey, Kimmer.
I think it does the chopping.
Yeah. Hey, Kimmer, you can very well. So how about a wee handcuff biscuit?
Oh, they really are like little handcuffs, and as hard as irons, too.
So, what's brought you doing here today? Well, there's something else we'd like to ask you about, actually. If so, I believe there might have been a document that disappeared from Genshin Asoki's shell. I think it's been called the Asoki Papers or something. Didn't you just tell us not to mention it?
I was just gonna say that too. Weren't we supposed to like not talk about this?
Did I no say Gregson's death is not to do with things that might have happened at Barclay. Leave the past in the past, laddie. It's not footer about irrelevant details. The expressions changed completely. Clearly onto something here. I didn't realize the last time I was in here, but doesn't he look like a mobster?
Maybe he is.
Like that. I don't like that route. Your old legacy. Get murderer's botched execution and the whole miserable escape. They were Barclay's darkest hours, a shocking embarrassment. Because the convict had a collaborator on the prison staff, you mean? Aye, the shame. Coroner who confirmed the death of the man after his execution, Courtney Scythe. And my chief warder at the time, Vigil, who was in charge of the whole affair.
But Mr. Vigil said he didn't know anything about it.
Rascal would nay say otherwise, eh? More handcuffs?
Oh, how could I say no? I can never have too much iron in your diet. Oh my god. When Mr. Vigil was handed his dismissal notice as a result of what happened, he was so despairing he jumped out your office window, didn't he?
I didn't like to say, but that's just Vigil trying to get out of it. You no think he would nay have jumped from the shock of his crimes being exposed, eh? I do. You wouldn't nay say otherwise, though, would you? Of course, I can nay shun all responsibility myself. I should nay have let him deceive me. Actually, there's barely anybody that kens what went on at the time now. The Gregson haven't been murdered, and Dr. Scythe forbidden from having any visitors. Visitors? Someone obviously doesn't want her giving her anything, right?
Well, going home empty-handed. I'm taking the bird. I mean, what?
I would nay have dreamed sending you packing with... Now, Kimmer, here, take a handcuff or two.
Oh, well, it'd be rude to say no, wouldn't it? Wouldn't want to become an Namek.
Nemec.
Namek, blah, 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 blah.
You know what a Nemec is?
I do.
I suppose, if there's anybody who might still ken about what happened back then, you'd be the last from the forensics division. Maria Gory. Where's the autopsy report? I don't like this. I don't like it anymore.
Dum, dum, dum.
She did the autopsy report because Scythe's now imprisoned. Maria Gory. Hey, Scythe's daughter. Oh. We've met her. I don't like her even more now. She may have no more, just the one. But the wee brains followed in her mam's footsteps. Did they ever see her without a scalpel in her hand? Ah. Oh, cool. Flashback. That's her right there.
Oh, not creepy at all.
You want to?
Mama, what is this?
I was gonna say, do you want to stab at her voice? Like, where did she spring from? And did she just call the doctor Mama? Dr. Sife's daughter, Maria Corey. Dude's talking to her. Ingrid's here.
Angry?
Ingrid.
Happy Saturday. No. Happy Catterday.
Happy Catterday.
Get it? There's not two cats here. I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
don't know what you're talking about. It is Suki and the cat. Let's talk about Gory, shall we? So, she's Dr. Sife's daughter, but her surname is Gory?
I'm being tortured by this character. Send help.
Hopefully we won't be at Barclay very much longer, Moon. There's some family history, I'm sure, but I did ken what the ins and outs of. She grew up watching her ma'am working with the bodies of folk who died in strange circumstances. Dedicated to do the same with your own life. I can understand it myself.
Perhaps she was driven by a deep respect for her mother.
Come on, Canadian, you can do this voice.
I'm doing the girls. I'm staying away from him. I don't need to do Canadian. I really want to kick Hat's butt for doing it.
I was mistaken for Canadian for 5 years. I'm allowed to get away with it.
Damn, really?
So, where I went to university, if you ever looked on a map, we would either A, not be on a map, B, be labeled as Wisconsin, C, labeled as Canada, or my favorite, completely, or just be part of Lake Superior. But my favorite one I've ever seen, and it makes no sense to me. We were labeled as Illinois on a map. I'm like,
Beautiful.
we are not Illinois. Illinois is under Wisconsin. I just about lost it when I saw that map.
You're part of Canada now. Welcome.
Yeah, that's the most common one actually. It's either Canada or just not on the map as part of the lakes. You said you were from Maine. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, welcome to Might As Well Be Canadian Club. Except I wasn't born and raised in that area. I actually just went up there for
I am
college.
born and raised in.
Yes, you are. Hey,
Or am I?
I wouldn't know. I
No,
don't
I
know you
am.
personally. You could have got away with it. I would have believed it.
I'm actually, I don't know. I got nothing.
You're South Canadian or something like that. That's what I like to say. I'm South Canadian. I'm on the border. I can say it.
I'm South Canada.
Technically, yeah. I just think it's funny saying
Southern
America is
Ontario.
South Canada. In a way, it sounds better than the mess that we are. You said that. I just talked over you. Perhaps, anywho, she was in charge of Gregson's autopsy, I believe. Okay, that's what I'm saying, Angry. Right, and the coroner responsible for this incomplete report. Someone tells me
Don't
once.
stick your hand in there.
Yeah.
Go chop, chop, chop. Then there goes your hand.
Someone once told me once that the wee lassie always loved her ma'am's stories about cutting up bodies. Even a rumor that she used to listen to the funeral march as a lullaby.
Well then, perhaps her mother might have told her about the autopsy from the case 10 years ago.
This will be my expression while we're here.
I love it here. I'd say there's a fighting chance at least. After all, it was a life-changing case for all of us. Really need to speak to Miss Gory herself about this, I think. Well, thank you very much. I'm no happy about any part of this. Took years for Londoners to finally forget the whole professor business. Can you no give up on this, laddie? Stop asking pointless questions. Sorry, I don't like dredging up these painful memories for everyone. You just stay away, no? Leave me alone and Danae come back here, eh? We're supposed to ask about the Asogi papers, too. How did you come to ken about that, lady? There are no men folk even there in prison who have heard about those pacers. Ah, well, I can't tell. Mr. Vigil told me.
I'm afraid our sources must remain confidential, sir.
We've been led to believe that the papers are actually a last will and testament. Is that right? Professors, or rather, Genshin Asogi's. Aye, that's right. You're well informed, Jimmy. Was that the end of the silent treatment? Then
Yeah, he likes to take the comb out and just like comb his hair.
he does. It's great. I still think he's a mobster. But then after the convict's execution, mysteriously vanished from his cell. Behaviors, no. You're off half-cocked there. Think you today quit and get your facts straight. It was there in the cell, exactly where it should have been. Oh. What we heard elsewhere.
Two stories.
Let me just have a wee poke around in here. Sure I can find it. Aye, here ye are. See? Last will and testament of Genshin Asogi. Written with calligraphy brush. Of course, I can now read a word of these Japanese squiggles, but I mind it says that he leaves all his worldly possessions to his son back in his home.
Yes, that's correct. That's the gist of it.
These are the Asogi papers? Aye, of course they are. Papers written by Asogi, need do to boot it. No mystery here, laddie. That's your lot. After all, the stramish of that slicer of an execution, he sent the man's possessions back to his clan in Japan, and that was the end of it.
I think we ought to make record of this, Mr. Naruhodo, just in case.
Asogi papers entered into the court record.
Totally won't be important.
One thing before you go on your way, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, yes? Those papers are not to do with Gregson's death. I prefer it if you didn't make no mention of them outside of this office. Or outside of this office. Or rather, I wouldn't just prefer it. Consider it in order from the highest levels of our government. I understand.
I think we're gonna break that rule.
Oh, 100%.
We've already said we wouldn't talk about it. We already have.
Yep. So we have the papers.
Sorry, Vigil.
Where do we have to go? So I guess we...
Present the papers to someone? Who knows?
That's what I'm wondering. I, Genshin Asogi, hereby request that upon my death, any and all my material possessions and wealth belonging to me in London are delivered to my son Cosmo Asogi in Empire of Japan. It's deep sadness that I accept my fate in this foreign land and knowledge that I will never see my homeland or family again, but I regret nothing of my chosen path. So he doesn't regret the murders.
Interesting.
Still, so... I guess we can see if Judge Jikoku's back? Like... Or we can go visit the crime scene. I don't think there'd be any... Because, like, the case is, like, essentially done.
Yeah.
Everything's not grayed out. There's just been a few places we haven't gone to.
All of the choices.
We haven't been to Fresno. We have not been to Lord Chief Justice office, and then the legal consultancy. But we can go to Lord Chief Justice's office. I don't think we need to be here. Oh yes, we do.
Same.
No arguments, Prosecutor Asogi. You will continue with the trial exactly as I instructed. Is that clear? Perfect. Perfectly.
It's Cosmo-sama.
Defying Lord Strongheart by the sound of it. Never did know when to back down. Company. On your way now, Osogi. My lord.
Hi.
It's Kazuma. Kazuma? You left without saying a word.
Kind of rude.
Yes, what are you doing here? Oh, well, just hoping to ask you a few questions, if you wouldn't mind. Wanted Van Zeek's trial concluded today. Prosecutor Sogi's unwelcome inquiries are going to make it take longer than unnecessary. Welcome inquiries? As a result, I'm losing even more precious time. Currently 2 hours, 55 minutes, and 41 seconds. 42, 43.
Oh my god.
We must resolve everything before 3 hours have passed, Mr. Naruhodo.
A miraculous not even 5 minutes? Anyway, I can't let the man's obvious bad mood put me off. I need information. Reaper. Does Prosecutor Sogi believe that Lord Van Zeek is the Reaper? I wouldn't know. It was 10 years ago, in that fateful close trial, that Lord Van Zeek made a name for himself among the judiciary. The next trial he fought, he lost. It meant the ringleader of a criminal organization was acquitted, thanks to the jurors being under duress. That's awful. Man's freedom was short-lived. It lasted just 3 days.
Yes, let me see. He died in the rock slide at the place of his work, I believe.
Correct. That was the inauguration of the Reaper of the Bailey. People believe Lord Van Zeek was responsible?
Why isn't right on your list yet? Oh.
I read that earlier. It's when I was talking about locations.
Yeah.
He was brought to trial himself, but it was shown to have been an accident. He had a solid alibi, though. Nevertheless, the mysterious deaths continued. In total, 16 persons perished in unusual circumstances, essentially at the hand of the Reaper. Well, it's everyone who got acquitted against Van Zeek's that did not go to Japan.
Damn.
Or actually just everyone who left Britain immediately, because Hairbrain's still alive, and Natsume is still alive, even though he had 2 trials within a week for 2 different crimes. He got out and then instantly got accused again.
I'm free! Ah, shit, I've been accused of murder again. Oh, well.
Yes, literally. Long run of coincidences.
Well, the Reaper's true identity may well be revealed by this trial.
Listen to the revelation would have on the British public cannot be understated. Why it's a close trial? Precisely. This country hasn't seen a closed trial for 10 years. So the last one was the professor's trial against Inosogi. Correct.
Damn.
Actually, we heard that originally you were going to prosecute that trial yourself, Lord Strongheart. Van Zeeks entreated me to relinquish the prosecution to him, that he might avenge his brother's death. Here we are, 10 years later, with the son of the man that Zeeks had condemned now looking to avenge his father's death in the same way.
Damn.
Yeah. You say what goes around comes around. However, it would seem the new young prosecutor is harboring some ulterior motive as well. Azuma is? I like my organization to run smoothly, in the exact manner that I prescribe. As with the giant clock here, I won't tolerate a single cog being out of step with the others. That's what others gears are about. The young man refuses to mesh with the other parts of my great machine. I will be forced to take steps. What do you mean? something which you need to concern yourself. In any case, all your questions will be answered tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Fade to black.
Fade to black.
Now, I shall have to ask you to excuse me. As of this moment, I've been delayed from attending my next meeting by precisely 3 hours.
Oh my, that is a long time.
I hold you entirely responsible. Even though we were miraculously managed to fit everything in not even 5 minutes.
Mm.
I wonder if you might agree to us talking with Professor Asogi. Discussion between the defense and prosecution outside the courtroom are generally frowned upon. However, I will make an exception in this case. Now go. You can find him in his office. Thank you. Oh, that means we have a new location.
Let's go see him at once, Mr. Naruhodo.
Of course you want to go see him. Your best friend.
I have a best friend?
Yeah. Asma's my best friend in the world, too. But, really not sure at all. I know how to talk to him. New location's been added. Executor's office. Second of November, prosecutor's office. This is the office of Prosecutor Asogi now, is it?
Kazuma is doing so well for himself.
Even though he's always forced to kneel on the floor Japanese style in that dark corner.
It's his habit to sit Seisa style whenever he's working.
I can't correct you on that word. Kazuma? I thought it wouldn't be long before you paid me a visit, Ryunosuke. I was right about what I said, wasn't I? Sorry. You have all the makings of a great defense lawyer. Well, I always believed that you'd fulfill your dream of advocating in British courts. Just never imagined for 1 second that it would be as a prosecutor.
Seeing you stand in the courtroom so valiantly, realizing your dream, Cousin Asoma. I'm truly happy for you.
I am truly thankful to you, Judicial Assistant Kotoba. Ryunosuke, I always thought it would be fun for you and I to shake up the British legal system a little together. This isn't quite how I envisaged it, but I suppose it's just another twist of fate. I've learned a lot of things during my time in London. How Susuda-san's father himself, a visiting student here once, along with Judge Chikoku, and about what happened with your father. Then you'll have no difficulty understanding why I had no choice, why I had to find a way to get to Britain as a visiting student myself. I want to hear it from you, Kazuma. As you wish, Ryunosuke. That's a lot of discussion points. I guess we'll start with the elephant in the room. Getting on for a year now since what happened on the SS Beria. Flashback to PM1. We were heading across the oceans from Japan to Great Britain. And when a bizarre series of coincidences led to those tragic events, I thought I had lost my best friend forever. I must have been unconscious for a long time. When I awoke, lying on a bed. It was a narrow little room. It was cozy of flowers by the pillow. A little while I realized that I was in the cabin of the ship. Slipped out of the room, headed up onto the deck. You're already suffering from amnesia at that point? Yes, I didn't know what happened or where I was. There was just this voice in my head. Something to do, something no one else can know about. Go to Great Britain. Your task awaits you there. It was a calling I couldn't ignore. Compelled me relentlessly. Out on deck, I saw there was a huge steamship and we were docked in a large port.
It must have been Hong Kong.
Yep, that's where his body went disappearing. Yes, it must have been. Presumably just before they were due to carry your body off the ship. I had no idea of the situation. I did have the feeling that this was in some way my last chance. I concealed myself from one of the disparate passengers on shore. And disappeared into the crowded streets of a foreign port city. So I could plan my onward journey to Great Britain. I have a feeling each of these have part 2. Just under a year ago, with all my past memories lost to me, I was left behind in Hong Kong. Everything was foreign to me. The sights, the sounds, the smells. My head reeled. Truly at a loss. I now realize now that I escaped as a dead man, with nothing but clothes on my back, no money, of course.
Oh, terrifying for you.
Luckily, though, I had 2 feathers in my cap. One being your knowledge of English, I suppose. That's right. And on the back of that, I was able to pick up some work as a deckhand on a cargo ship. Eventually, after calling at countless ports, I finally arrived at Dover. That must have been some 3 months ago now. The middle tenacity of purpose showing itself again. The man had lost his memory and literally nothing to his name. Still managed to make his way to London on the opposite side of the world. Good there, Moon? Of course, I had no idea that I moved heaven and earth to get here at that point. So how did you end up becoming Lord Vincent's apprentice then? That can only be called an extraordinary stroke of luck, really. See? Stopped at the border because I had no papers. Took me straight to Scotland Yard. By sheer coincidence, Lord Strongheart was there to attend a meeting. That's when the second feather in my cap came into play. Quick, I need a brain restart. Why do you need a brain restart, Hawk?
That be your knowledge of the law?
Yes, exactly. Spoil. Oh no. That's not good.
Are we in for...
We're in for a ride, because he's probably just slightly ahead of us. We got stuck.
How dare he zoom ahead?
It's because we got stuck trying to figure out where we wanted to go next. I was curious about an Easterner with intimate knowledge of British law. Took me back with him to the Supreme Court and assigned me to the prosecutor's office.
It's also faster to read in your head than out loud.
It is true. Then, 9 days ago, finally got your memory back after the trial involving Trevor. Yeah, he had no memory. Strongheart made him wear a mask in trial. And after the trial, Barrock showed him and us that the professor is actually his dad. Yeah, this game got crazy downhill so quick. Yes, I did. Another Genshin. Ever since I first met you, Yume, you talked about your dream. Mark my words, Ryunosuke. I'll be chosen as a visiting student and make my way to Great Britain someday. Did you know that the entire time about what happened to your father here? 16 years ago.
Whoa, you mean not 10 years ago?
So young looking! My father left on an exciting trip to Great Britain. Just how old are you? He's 24.
Damn.
So that puts him at 8?
Mm-hmm. That's how math works. Anyway.
Yeah, that is in fact how math works. My father left on this British boy. Took a photograph together the day before his departure. It's my last memory of it. What I remember most about my father is an unswerving sense of justice. 6 years after he left, the gentleman called our family home. He told me that Genshin, my father, had taken ill in England and passed away. It was Professor Mikotoba, your father's Suzuka-san. Ever since then, the professor was very good to me. He even helped to fund my university education at UMA. I'll be forever in his debt. Nevertheless, I just couldn't bring myself to believe what he told me.
Oh.
Then one day, a letter arrived at our house from Britain. There was no indication of the sender, so I just opened it, assuming it was from an old acquaintance of my father. What I read in that letter changed my entire life.
Damn.
What did it say? It said that my father had been a mass murderer, and the writer cursed the Asogi name.
Oh no!
It's the truth, though. As a result of that letter, I found out what had been hidden from me all those years. Letter from Britain. Presumably, the letter was sent from a relative of one of the victims. Whoever had been a member of the judiciary could have been present at the closed trial. The letter revealed that my father had been sentenced to death, executed for being a killer. I'm sorry you had to find out that way. I imagine. Yeah, it is. I imagine the British government did its very best to silence whoever sent that letter. Someone who knew the truth couldn't bear the resentment was always going to be a problem.
But still, it could have been written by anyone. Why would you believe such a thing?
It was a newspaper cutting included with the letter. It's the first I'd ever heard of the professor. His terrible killing spree.
Well, what did Father have to say about the letter?
Couldn't bring myself to show it to him. What? Why not? Because he deliberately concealed the truth from me by telling me my father was taken by a fatal illness.
Fatal illness just sounds like this.
Yeah, he'd done it out of consideration for my feelings. So instead, he showed the letter to Judge Jakoku. Yeah, because he was also on the trip. To the other visiting student. He faltered for the briefest moments, but then he just laughed the letter off. In that moment, I saw it on his face. He was undeniably shocked, shaken momentarily before recovering his balance. A year later, my bereaved mother succumbed to the strain of grief, and she too passed away. That's when I made up my mind that one day, without fail, I would cross the seas to Britain, and seek the truth for myself. The truth about my father, Genshin Isogi. I wouldn't let anyone stand in my way.
Kazuma-sama!
Reaper's trial. What we learned today in court turned things completely on their head. It's an impressive piece of lawyering, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Living in Zeeks isn't the Reaper, you know. I almost don't want to believe it myself, but it turns out that Inspector Gregson himself, the victim, was. It's clear that the Inspector was behind the Reaper's activity all along. I mean, you knew? The real question is who's been giving orders to the Inspector? Yes, Perak Van Zeeks is the real Reaper. I know that 10 years ago, it was him. He decided my father must be a mass murderer and sent him to his grave.
No, he was
That's
merely
you.
seeing that the justice was done as the law dictates. He's not to blame.
Ultimately, it's people who condemn people. The law is just a tool he used to do it. And when a man condemns another, he must take responsibility for his actions. Of course he must. I know for certain, my father could never have taken another man's life. Kazuma. On the contrary, my father's life was taken by the Reaper. I feel like there's something we can present to him. Cosmo, this is your armband. Actually, I think it's yours now. Sorry. You're the defense lawyer. You have a talent for it. I've always known that you would. Now you've chosen to take that path in life. As your friend, I couldn't be happier for you. Or more proud. So keep hold of that.
No.
Besides, I'm a prosecutor now. That armband would have no meaning for me. Oh, sure. Thank you, my friend.
Now let's show off the papers that people are telling us not to show people. Woohoo!
Is
No.
that what you want to do? Like,
No.
I don't think I'd want to either.
As fun as it would be. Disobey all of the rules.
I don't know if there's anything relevant of investigating. It's just the desk. Exactly. I do feel like there's something we're missing here. I think we need to like present something, or we need to investigate.
I haven't presented anything to anybody.
It's true, but like it's all been like moving along.
Right? I guess we showed the papers to them. Or asked them about them.
Be able to like go visit Ori by chance? No. So we definitely need to do something to unlock that.
So many things.
No. Like, actually a little lost where to go with this. So obviously we need to talk to Gory still. The scale model of the crime scene. Yes, I realized that. Does the prosecution office make a model of the scene for every single case? Apparently so. Sometimes it helps to visualize things better and notice things you hadn't spotted before. Actually, the miniature notice board is my work. Honest, you enjoyed making that.
Hell yeah.
Well, we could present the autopsy report, see if he knows anything about Gory, because that's like the only thing we have that mentions Gory, right?
At least I wanted to go see them. That's it.
What does that mean?
Oh, we said that we wanted to go talk to them, didn't we?
Yeah, but we don't
They're not
have...
available.
We don't even have the autopsy, the laboratory, the forensics laboratory to go to.
Yeah, so we gotta try and unlock it somehow.
Yeah, 'cause we got the hospital bed, the president, retreat room, prison, office, Waterloo, Justice. Yeah, we don't have it.
Maybe show him the report then and see what he says. I don't
That's... Isn't that the only thing we have that mentions Gory?
I think so.
Practical. This came up in the trial, didn't it? Something a little dubious. The fact that no time of death was recorded on the Inspector Greggson's autopsy report. Yes, there was some unexpected turns in the courtroom earlier. The suggestion you came up with certainly took everyone by surprise. The idea that the victim died the previous day at some other location is quite something. Well, considering when the pocket watch was stopped and the scorch marks on the candle, certainly a distinct possibility. The evidence in the scene both point to it.
Yeah, probably true.
To be honest, it bothered me too. So I paid a visit to the autopsy room earlier. The coroner responsible wasn't there. I got a name. It's Dr. Gory.
If it wouldn't trouble you, Cousin Misema, we'd very much like to speak with the coroner too.
Oh, thank you. Plus, the last thing I want is for anything to be brushed under the carpet. Scotland Yard's autopsy laboratory is behind Lowgate Cemetery. Lowgate Cemetery. By Barclay Prison, you mean? Ah, you know it, do you? Prison where my father was incarcerated, robbed of his life.
Kazuma-sama.
Well, thank you. We'll pay a visit to the laboratory later today. This is why I knew we weren't done here, because they didn't fade the black. Ryunosuke, I want to thank you. What for? This. Safeguard the soul of the Asogi clan. Well, it was a famous sword that's been in your family for generations. The only slight regret is that I never got a chance to draw it before I returned it to you. Karma said to be forged by a master swordsmith during the Sengoku Warring States period. Come from a long lineage of warriors, many of whom were expert swordsmen. Well then, chip off the old blackouts, eh? This blade, Karma, symbol of the Asogi clan's honor and might. Apparently, one of my father's apprentices even took the blade's name for a surname. Really? Karma? Oh. That's a reference to the Great Ace, not to Ace Attorney 1.
Fancy.
On Karma. 16 years ago, my father was a visiting student here in London. He had this sword forever at his side. That's why it means so much to me that I have it by my side again now, too. It's all thanks to you. Honor. Touching moment, even though we're enemies right now.
We're not enemies.
We're frenemies, let's be honest. Now, I have preparations to make for tomorrow. Perhaps I said a little too much. Kazuma, you've changed. No, Ryunosuke, I haven't changed at all. It's you who's changed.
In a good way or a bad way?
I completely understand your resentment of Lord Van Zeek's given what had happened. The fact is, those events in this case are, well, unrelated. Is that what you want to say? How can you be so sure? What do you mean? Never mind. That man is the Reaper, and it is for the reason that the inspector was killed. I'm going to prove as much in court tomorrow, by whatever means necessary.
Sure you are.
Let you do that, Kazuma. I know you'll do what you have to as a lawyer, but I'm sure I don't need to tell you that I won't be taking any prisoners in the courtroom. I wouldn't expect nothing less. Till tomorrow, then, in the Old Bailey.
The Old Bailey.
Old Bailey courtroom.
Bailey?
We're on to something. Come here, Gory. We have to talk.
I don't want to talk to you.
Are you sure you don't want to be gory?
I got it.
Look at all those plushies.
Oh my lord.
This place really is creepy, isn't it?
Well, being a dead room, it's probably full of spirits and spirits of the dissected. Jesus Christ. But actually, there's a rather pleasant scent of roses in the air. Well, being a dead room, the corner probably needs a bold scent like that to mask the odor of death.
Iris? Do you think we could change the subject?
Shrink, 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 shrink.
I heard those knife blade sharpenings. Oh. That was not text, that had audio.
That was. What was that?
It's so quiet, but you can hear it.
But there's knife sharpening in the background. Oh, there she is.
Dr. Gory?
What?
That noise before.
I was sharpening my tools. It'd be dead meat if I wouldn't keep perfect clean edge on them.
Right.
When following the elegant fibers of my dermis and expertly sharpened scalpel. Cuts like cheese. Would you like a demonstration?
I'm good.
Are you sure?
Oh yes, please. I'd love to see.
Oh, Iris.
Then I think you'll do nicely. Run.
Huh? No, I wouldn't do nicely at all. I mean, maybe some other time. Was that a tut? Well, I came here to ask questions, so...
Oh my god. She's gonna kill us.
She's gonna kill us. We're so dead.
Run.
Time of death. Yeah, we actually met before. I'm a lawyer, if you remember.
You're not dead yet.
What?
So, Mom said I wasn't to cut you open. She's so strict about things like that.
Well, good. I've had some scruples, at least.
Can I cut him open yet?
No.
Or what?
Oh dear. Looks like she's not interested in talking to us for the time being, anyway.
The time being? You mean until we die? I hope that's a way off. Sorry, but I wasn't planning on dying anytime soon. Something less drastic way of making her listen. Alright, if you won't ask about it, I will just present it to you. Grigori, he actually came here to ask you about this.
He was very good.
Good? Sorry?
His skin didn't snag my blade once. And very little mess. His joints dislocated easily, and his muscle tissue was a pleasure to work with.
Where are you going with this, Moon? We can skip those details. But there is one thing about the report that's caught my attention. You don't seem to have recorded a time of death.
Hmm?
She's shocked. I can tell.
That's not my fault.
Why does she feel like she's like Catherine from the Catherine games? That made me jump.
Then please, tell us what happened.
Oh look, time of death.
Time of death, take 2.
So, why doesn't this autopsy report include the victim's time of death then? It's really the most crucial detail.
I was told not to write it.
What? By whom?
Well, Strongbow, the Lord Chief Justice, came here.
Why is it always the Lord Chief Justice that makes things a headache? This is so many parallels to Game 1 of the first trilogy.
Amazing.
Lord Strongheart came?
Said that from the witnesses' statements about the gunshot and the other evidence, it was obvious. The man clearly died at 5 p.m. on 1st November when the gunshot was heard. But that's not the time of death you wrote on the report. You didn't write anything. Was there some reason you didn't include it?
Dr. Gory, you're hiding something under Lord Strongheart's instructions. Sooner or later, you're going to go the same way as your mother.
Oh.
That's one way to get her attention.
Oh, off with the mask. Give it here then. Scribble, 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 scribble.
Scribbling so furiously.
There.
You've written...
Well, what she's written, tell us!
Indeterminate.
But...
Autopsy report has been updated. What do you mean by indeterminate? Why was the time of death indeterminate?
When the specimen was brought in, it was still fresh. So the time of death could easily have coincided with when the gunshot was heard. Oh, mask. But there was one small discrepancy.
What discrepancy?
There was some fried fish in the pocket of his specimen overcoat.
The fish and chips never end.
And that fish had started to rot.
That's
If the victim liked fried fish, he presumably liked to eat it before it went off.
well, yes. What are you trying to say?
It's possible that someone tried to manipulate the apparent time of death.
Manipulate them. Is that even possible to do?
Theoretically, if you were to chill the body in ice, you could delay the onset of Fishing. His overcoat wasn't on the body at the time.
And only the fish would have started the rot.
But today's science, it's not yet possible to determine if the body was chilled or not.
Today's science is advanced enough to let you freeze a corpse, it seems.
But surely, to chill a corpse like would require an enormous electrical refrigerator.
Or an icebox.
And I don't imagine many households in London are equipped with such a device. No, definitely not. But maybe in a factory or some other special places. I don't recall seeing any factories or such like in Fresno Street, though. I wonder if the inspector's body had been chilled somehow. It might actually... What might the actual time of death have been? I couldn't say for sure. But at most, it might have been a day earlier.
Our theory still holds.
Oh.
No.
In other words, it would... Your previous deduction, Mr. Naruto.
Yeah.
And Inspector Grayson was killed the day before his body was discovered at a different location.
Like a freezer. Did you inform Lord Strongheart of this possibility?
He simply said there was no electrical refrigerators of the size in the vicinity.
Yeah. He's involved, and I don't like it. Oh yes, one other thing. It's something the governor at Barclay Prison told us. He said that your mother, Dr. Scythe, was responsible for confirming the death of the professor after his execution.
The professor.
Apparently you always enjoyed listening to your mother's stories about her work, so we were wondering if you might know something about what happened that 10 years ago.
That's not all Mama did.
Sorry?
My Mama carried out the autopsy of Clint Van Zeeks as well.
Oh.
Look at that sparkle in her eyes.
Really? Brother of Lord Van Zeeks, the professor's final victim.
The idea of carrying out an autopsy on a member of the aristocrat was completely unthinkable back then. The detective in charge of the investigation insisted, and it was miraculously authorized. And the detective in Grayson, of course.
Yep. Quite an accomplishment for one man.
The autopsy proved a vital clue needed to arrest the killer. And Mama was there for the historical event.
What does this all mean?
You know, that amazing autopsy happened right here in this very room. Professor and Clint Van Zeeks. They both spent their final moments before their burial in that dissection table there. So this lab, Mama's lab, was instrumental in some of the country's most important events.
She really is proud of her mother. I wonder if you tell us more about exactly what happened back then, Dr. Gory?
More knife sharpening.
And more things to talk about.
Of course.
I don't know if we're gonna get to the deduction.
The professor's execution was Mama's first big case. She'd gone an attendant in Barclay Prison's execution chamber and signed the certificate to confirm the convict's death. Mama's the best coroner in the world, you know. I was so proud of her.
The execution didn't actually take place.
No. And worse still, Mom actually helped with the jailbreak.
Back to the mask.
I didn't want to know.
I was born in the mask.
Oh dear. You found out recently, you mean? I believed in her. In Mama. But now I wonder if I'm starting down the same path as her.
I mean, because you admitted the time of death on this autopsy report? But that's because Lord Stronghold forbade you from including it.
It's like Mama. I'm sure she was forced by someone too.
Yes, that's my feeling as well.
There's no doubt about those powerful forces at play 10 years ago. The execution couldn't have been staged without a lot of people at the prison knowing about it. Obviously, the prison government must be on it as well. The big man with the little handcuffs? According to what he told us, he was tricked by the chief warder. He says he knew nothing about it. Of course, he said that. I'd say the same thing.
Who was behind that jailbreak all these years ago? It's autopsy. You mentioned the autopsy of Clint Van Zeeks.
It was at the time when he was carrying out autopsies of murder victims. It was very unusual. It's still not a practice that's observed in our country even now. It turned out he was actually the professor's final victim. The autopsy was performed. Mama was present, although only as a secondary assistant.
Secondary assistant.
The person leading the procedure was called Dr. John H. Wilson.
Iris's dad.
That's right, my daddy! And there was one other person present, the primary assistant. He was a visiting student from the Far East.
Wait, a visiting student?
It must have been my father. Yujin Mikoto.
You don't know how to say your own last name, Susato?
I'm stuttering, okay? I'm a little tired today.
Here's the restart. Oh god. No idea Professor Mikotoba had been involved in something so important.
But the outcome of that historic autopsy was a delicious discovery of a vital piece of evidence that led to the capture of the professor. She's way too happy.
Yeah, she loves her job.
Run!
Exactly. So that's how they came to identify Genshin Asogi as the infamous. Do you know anything about that piece of evidence? Can you tell us any more?
Would you like to see the records for yourself?
Would that be alright?
What's the point of keeping records if people can't look at them?
I like her mentality.
They're filed under V at the back of those covers with the other records from the last decade.
Thank you.
How very kind.
Let's see, Van Zeeks. That's strange.
What, Miss Naruhodo?
They aren't here. There's nothing under Van Zeeks.
There must be.
Perhaps somebody took them away?
No. No one's allowed to take documents related to the professor's case out of this room. You're right. They're gone.
Well, when was the last time somebody looked at them? Do you remember?
It was... Oh, yes. I remember now. It was 2 years ago.
2 years ago. It's relevant about 2 years ago.
You mean not 10? Or 16?
Well, 16's when they all visited Britain. 10 was the professor case. 2 years ago...
Well, I guess
we've been in Britain.
We'll find out.
We've been in Britain for a year.
The consulting detective came on saying that he'd like to see the records.
No, you don't mean...
Herlock Sholmes was his name.
God damn that man! Down, I knew that was coming.
Do you think he stole the records? Oh no, surely not. Iris, that can't be right, can it?
Iris? She knows something.
Oh.
I don't like this. She knows something.
Runo. I hope you don't mind, but
What is it, Iris?
I've just remembered something very important I have to do. I'm gonna have to leave you now.
Of course she is.
This is very sudden, Iris. I promise I'm not up to anything. Bye! Oh, we'll come with you then. Oh, no. There's no need. You and Runo can take your time here. Bye for now then. Good luck!
Of course.
Sus as hell.
Very.
Wait a minute, little girl. Huh? Me? I remember now. You've been here before, haven't you?
Have you, Iris?
Yeah. 2 years ago when that detective came. You were with him, weren't you? You were the living specimen then, too.
Still is. That's the way it usually works, yes.
Was I? I don't really remember. Anyway, sorry, but I must dash.
Wait, Iris.
I'll brew a pot for you when I get home.
And she's gone.
Yep. What's the matter with her? She's behaving really strangely all of a sudden. She knows about
Clearly
that
high
autopsy report.
Hmm.
Well, in that case, we won't keep you any longer either.
It's been quite a while since I had any visitors. This was really fun. Let me
Me-
chop you open next time, please.
No, thank you.
Please. But next time you come, I'd prefer if you're ready for dissection.
You don't have to jump the gun, Moon.
Come on.
Can't make any promises, sorry.
Maybe next time then.
It's strange
I
that
mean-
the records of Pinseek's autopsy have disappeared. We've asked all we keep asking.
I'll dissect you next time. Bye.
Bye. You think there's any reason? Yes. The only place we haven't
Probably
been-
chase her down, right? Wherever she just went.
I don't know if she's at home. We also haven't looked at Fresno. I guess we can go back to the crime scene.
That's where I want us to be.
Oh, look, they're still investigating. They're still busily investigating here then.
But Gina's nowhere to be seen. Where is she?
Yes, it has been blissfully quiet, hasn't it? Perhaps she's out investigating on her own. Practicing what her boss taught her.
Well, I suspect she'll be back before too long. Shall we wait?
Actually, there's something different about this room since the last time we were here, isn't it?
We could all use the time to investigate more thoroughly.
It's true. Yeah, like the trunk that's there. That wasn't in the middle of the room. This little trunk wasn't here before, was it?
Oh, it appears to be made of metal. It must be very heavy. I wonder whom it belongs.
There's some initials on the outside. Oh, that's you.
There's visual on the outside. TG. Who's TG?
Ask one of the policemen, you know how I came to be here. I only know one person that says oi, and that means it's your voice.
Oh, what do you think you're doing?
That's Ginny.
That's That's my trunk, that is. Hands off! Gina!
Where were you hiding?
I don't know. You leave something unattended for a few seconds, and every Tom Dictionary's got it. His greedy eyes on it.
Just a wild guess, Gina, but...
What? Spit it out, Oda. Oda?
Fair to say you've only owned that trunk since this morning's trial.
What? What are you trying to say? Come on, this trunk goes with me everywhere. Always has. Where have you been the last year?
Trying not to incur your wrath, mainly.
And not to get dissected.
That too. We have Gina. Your boss.
You shouldn't hear him talking at the yard now. They should be ashamed of themselves. They're saying that is the boss who killed all the bludgers.
You mean the whole Reaper thing?
Yeah. Apparently, the boss was investigating stuff that no one else at the yard knew nothing about. Stuff to do with all criminals what got off scot-free.
Yes, the ones prosecuted by Lord Van Zeeks who used bribery and corruption to evade conviction.
Well then, obviously, it was that bloomin' Reaper giving the orders, weren't it?
Why would people be suspecting Inspector Gregson of being involved in the killings?
There was a notebook in his office.
No, this doesn't sound good.
It had details of all the crimes that have been pegged as Reaper's work.
What?
No! Did you see it, Gina? Did you see that notebook? They would've flamin' let me, because I'm just an apprentice, apparently. It was me who found it, and he was my boss. That's right. I was pretty miffed about it, so I sneaked a peek, and what it said anyway. Oh!
Regina. A secret notebook.
Oh, here we go.
You managed to see what was written in Gregson's secret notebook anyway, did you?
Way I see it, it's my right to read what he wrote. And what had he written, Gina? Dates, times, places, names, and a whole long list of them. All details about the bludgers supposedly to have done in by the Reaper. But there could be an explanation for that. Perhaps there was a record of the inspector's investigations into the Reaper's activities. Exactly. That's what I said. That's the first thing you think, right? And it happens, it was a full list of names I recognize anyway.
Well, the Reaper's targets were almost exclusively known leaders of London's criminal underworld.
Well, yeah, but there was one name right at the end of it. It was an odd bit. It was a bit odd.
The end of the list, you mean?
I'm pretty sure the date against it was 31st October. Oh, the day before the inspector was found dead.
What was the odd name?
It weren't like a name I'd never seen before. It was something like, nah, it's no good. I can't remember it. I don't think it was an English name. Put it that way. Oh dear, what a pity. There was something else too. I don't know if it matters, but the same name kept coming up over and over. And you can't remember it?
Oh.
Hey, look.
Shit, it was. Don't suppose it means anything but.
No, it means a lot. Did you say shin with two N's?
Shock! What? It means something?
Lord Van Zeeks knew the name too. He mentioned her as well. A woman who actually did kids. Now we find out her name has appeared in Gregson's secret notebook.
Man, this one's being brought up a lot all of a sudden.
Yeah. Gotta love the end of Ace Attorney games where everything gets
And,
intertwined.
and you said she's dead too, right?
Yes, she died at the start of this game
Jesus.
because Susie's friend got.
Or is she really dead?
Yes,
Oh. Dang.
because Susie's friend got blamed for her death, and Suzuto got called back. She ended up being a lawyer disguised as a man because females aren't allowed in courts at this time and age. And she defended her.
Jeez.
And apparently Judge Chikoko knew that was Susie the whole time. We haven't seen you for a little while, have we, Gina?
Well, of course not. I've been busy, ain't I? Investigating all that. The lads at the yard are trying to trace the boss's movements the day before it happened.
Day before would be the undercover investigation to the red-headed elite then.
Only the boss didn't go, did he? He found some cove what was pretending to be him. Didn't you, Yoda?
Gotta love
It's a
that
little
East
awkward
End
once in a
English.
while. Most of the time I do decent.
Yeah. Yes, it was Mr. Vigil who actually went to the park on Lime Street that day posing as Gregson.
Well, anyway, you ain't the only ones turning stuff up. I got my own ways of getting results.
Toby!
When me and my partner get together, there's nothing we can't track down.
Love Toby, he's so cute.
Oh, little Toby was such a faithful friend.
Look at his tag, look at his tail go.
Look at that tail.
So have you tracked down anything then? Oh, he's so cute.
What do you think? Of course we have. Can't tell them no police business, isn't it?
Ugh.
Anyway, the point is, if you don't need any help,
We could use that info that you're saying that you have.
you know who to turn to, right? Me and the L-Hound here.
Right. Because he looks so hellish, honest.
Oh, of course he does.
Hellhound. Gina, about your Hellhound there. Get right back up.
Hell yeah. Chief Inspector Toby, you mean? He's the pride and joy, pride of the force he is.
I was just going pride and joy.
I would have rolled with it, it's fine.
Right?
In Japanese, police dog means something quite different. Not altogether nice in those involved in crime. But here in Britain, it's a wonderful compliment, it seems, for a canine at least.
Should be. After all, in the great exhibition case the other day, it was Toby here who managed to locate Trevor's workshop.
Maybe it's time for another demonstration of what this super dog can do, eh?
The Chief Inspector catch the scent of wonder. Or his...
The wig?
No,
Aha.
his identification, right?
Maybe?
Take that!
Oh, the identification. Chief Inspector Toby, if you wouldn't mind having a sniff of this. I love this image. And you can't pause it.
Sniff.
You might be a little too keen, don't you think?
Jesus!
Go, dog, go! I mean, short work of Gina there.
Right to the case.
But he's gone to.
Oh my, that trunk clearly still has a very strong scent. Of Inspector Gregson.
In other words, it must have belonged to him.
Oh, right. It's fair. Cop, I suppose.
Nearly got away with it, too.
Got away with it if it wasn't for this damn dog.
And meddling kids, too.
You know kids. You always talk so proudly of the Chief Inspector Toby knows what it can achieve. Did it not cross your mind you might identify something that was right next to us? Yeah, that was a bit of a bloomer, ain't it? Weren't it?
It's enough now, then, Gina.
Eh?
I think it's time you told us the truth about that trunk.
Oh, damn.
A metal trunk.
It weren't like that. It just weren't.
What are you talking about?
I know what's going through that head of yours, but that ain't what happened.
Alright then. What did happen?
Oh, panic and run. Well, like I said before, we weren't trying to trace the boss's movements. So I told Toby he'd have a whiff of the boss's overcoat. And as soon as I done that, he went off like a shot. Straight to that sandwich.
A sandwich? Not to a bag of chips?
Listen, Naruhodo, I believe Gina means the witness. That's what I was gonna say too.
Sandwich.
A sandwich.
I forgot.
Yeah. I somehow didn't forget about sandwich.
I forgot about that sandwich. Thanks for it, Osuke.
So much to her. I actually remembered sandwich. Yeah, and in between the wooden boards of his, the boss's trunk. Oh.
Oh. I mean, when they heard the sound like a gunshot and all piled in here?
Exactly. Nabbed it from the scene. Goodness. Me and the chief inspector gave Sandwich a good grilling. And you know what?
Alright, it might fetch a good price and the chip wouldn't be needing it anymore, so... But that's all it is, nothing more, nothing less.
Would you believe it, chap? The cheek of it, eh? Stealing the dead boss's stuff to flog.
Miss Venus wasn't the only one to meddle with the scene of the crime, though.
Oh, Venus did stuff too.
Venus's
I think that might have
firecracker
been the
was the
part that I
gunshot.
missed. Oh, okay, it was confirmed that that was.
The special was confirmed that it
How
sounds
could
like
they?
a shot. Sounds like a gunshot.
I was there for that part. I wasn't there for like the confirmation that that was what the gunshot sound was. They were like theorizing it, I think.
Yeah, it's been proven.
Yeah.
Because we lit it off in court. And everyone's like, a gun went off.
It's funny, that's how it happened. You know, Rick. And it's a pretty decent trunk, so I figured I might as well make use of it. Is there something wrong with that, eh? Well?
Maybe you and Mr. Sandwich should try and find the answer to that question together.
I think perhaps the trunk should be turned over to the police, don't you? What are you on about? I am the police.
She is an apprentice. Gina, if you wouldn't mind, could we maybe examine it?
Yeah, alright then. Do what you want with it.
To the court record it goes.
Thank you. We shall make a detailed record of the examination of the evidence. Woohoo! Grr.
What's the matter with Toby? Why is he acting so aggressively towards me all of a sudden?
Huh. Mr. Hardo, be careful. It must be the trunk. Toby, what are you doing? What do you think you're doing? You're gonna lick his face off.
He ain't licking.
Mr. Naruhodo! Mr. Naruhodo! Oh no, you're gonna die. Gina, quickly! Hail a carriage! Ruh-roh.
Back to our room.
Are you okay? Were you mauled by the dog?
That's what I'm guessing. She's in tears.
Oh, Mr. Naruhodo, are you alright?
Susato. Ah, conscious again at last. A blessed relief, my dear fellow. After all, it's the drop dead after a moderate licking by a small terrier, most unseemly.
What is or isn't seemingly is irrelevant here, Mr. Sholmes. I'm so glad there's no lasting damage. How are you feeling?
I'm fine, thank you. Bring me back here. What's this on my head? Bandage? Sadly, we had no ice, so that's a compress of sugar water. Sugar water?
Don't worry, Mr. Naruhodo. It's a first aid treatment that my father taught me.
Thank you. So, let us take tea when you're feeling up to it, but of course, no sugar in the patient's cup. The bump on my head is throbbing sweetly enough, don't worry.
Whenever you're feeling ready, then.
I don't like that he's just standing there.
Why examine him then?
Exactly. Thank you for your concern, Mr. Sholmes. Dear fellow, think nothing of it. I must say, it was quite startled when I heard that you've been attacked by a dog. For a moment, I feared the infamous murderer of so many had come back from the dead. You mean the professor? That's how the professor killed his victims, was via dog maulings.
Damn.
Fortunately, I see your prized throat is unscathed. That stiff, turned-up collar of yours has obviously afforded some welcome protection. Was I that close to death? All I really remember was the dog licking my face over and over and over again. Well, if you wish to avoid such troubles in the future, a little mustard spread on the cheeks should do the trick.
Imagine being licked to death.
I'd be okay going out that way.
As long as no teeth.
Should think that would balance the sweetness of your bandage rather splendidly. So... what to do?
Are you right, Mr. Naruhodo? It's rather unusual to find ourselves here in the middle of our investigations.
It's just occurred to me that I had forgotten something when we had left this morning.
Please don't worry. As long as you continue to investigate thoroughly, you won't go far wrong.
Oh, yes, of course. Let's get back to work as soon as possible. So we just go downstairs? Oh, right. Iris. Gotta check in on Iris.
Iris took off earlier,
Yeah.
very suspiciously, when the certain doctor was involved.
Don't want her to be involved again. Sholmes is sweet.
Why not? You don't want dissection?
She's got music.
What is going on down here?
Why is Mikatopa wearing Cosmo's mask?
I don't know what's going on here.
Trying to hear the music.
It's a different language.
What's going on in here? Am I having a bad dream? Oh, no, it's an old German folk song. Rather a fine rendition, I think. That's the least of my concerns.
Is he okay? Iris?
Is he alive back there?
I think he's just passed out.
Hopefully.
Iris, what's the matter? Good, Susie?
Who is that sprawling, I mean, that relaxed gentleman over there?
Relax.
It's your dad! How can you not tell? Iris, excuse me, sir. I do apologize for troubling whilst you're singing so merrily, but would you be kind enough to explain the situation? That worked. Crooning gentleman and a mute young girl, a rather tantalizing juxtaposition. One that appears to have incited the gods of deduction with me to find their voices too.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, do you mean?
We even have enough time for this?
I don't know.
Strains of reasoning within me are playing now as a delightful duet. Melody sings of a reunion full of nostalgia. Whilst the other It's a morose theme about the great secret you're trying so desperately to conceal, Iris. It's turned as white as a sheet.
So as usual, you've instantly seen the very heart of the matter.
And by the time my own brief performance is over, I feel sure this gentleman's song will reach its finale. So then, to Musicland, where all sweetness and delicacy and harmony. Pray, do enjoy Herlock Sholm's latest Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. Great deduction. The game is afoot.
I thought this was... Are you sure the game's afoot? It doesn't look like afoot to me.
Man's identity. Firstly, we consider the gentleman's nationality. Clearly, he is a German with no grasp of the English language. Welcome to Sholm's deductions. It's a shame that you're getting the last one of the game, most likely. It's evidenced by the Germanic song he sings and his apparently inability to understand when asked to desist. That's why he is the man here at all, and is apparently in high spirits.
His mouth isn't moving, he's not singing.
And so, of course, Iris is clearly known to you. Indeed, we only need to follow the gaze of those bright young eyes to unravel a particular part of this mystery. The reason for the man's mildly irritating warbling is revealed by this herbal tea. We obviously offer our German guests a cup of your latest herbal blend. Tea's delectable flavor has made this man's spirit soar, resulting in his joyful, dirty tumbling incessantly from his lips. I eagerly await the sampling the flavor myself, and I may join the fellow in the state of elation. Now, to the next question. Who exactly is the gentleman availing himself so thoroughly on the settee? As it happens, a number of years ago now, a certain gentleman of German origin engaged my services in solving a particularly delicate case. He acquired the retrieval of letters once sent to acquaintance that might have proven problematic. In order to conceal his noble identity, he also arrived at my office in a mask. The gentleman's name was Wilhelm Gottschalk Sigismund von Ormstein.
Jesus Christ.
The King of Germany. If my memory serves, the mask worn by this gentleman is identical. Yes, there can be no question. The mask belongs to the King of Germany.
Iris just says nothing.
It would appear that His Majesty remembers the fine service I afforded him, and has decided to show his face again, mask and all, in order to express his gratitude. In a well-mannered monarch indeed, wouldn't you agree, my dear fellow? So the identity of this masked visitor is in fact my former client, the King of Germany. Indeed, his son is currently in London as well, enjoying the wonders of the Great Exhibition.
Oh my god.
Welcome to Sholm's Deductions.
Definitely.
King of Germany. Girl's silence. Which leaves us with one remaining imponderable. Yes, you, young Iris. Your apparent and explicit silence is unable to hide the truth. Yes, the reason for your muteness is concealed inside this knapsack. A £5 note, I believe. I must say, as your compatriot, I'm deeply saddened. It would appear that you have allowed yourself to be bribed into silence by His Royal Highness, finding yourself spending money in exchange for keeping quiet about the King's secret. Now, the final piece of the puzzle. Is this a secret you strive to hide with your silence, Iris? Ah yes, we need only to follow that brief involuntary twitch of your eyes to find the answer. We're attempting to abscond with that coffee cup. Favorite coffee cup, in fact. Or should I say, the handle of my favorite coffee cup.
Dum dum dum.
It appears that His High Spirit Highness broke it in the midst of his high jinks. Leads us to the sad truth. My favorite coffee cup has been broken by the King of Germany. And Iris, you tried to conceal it from me.
You know what? I think he's right on the mark.
I shall have the bill sent via governmental channels to the German royal family for its replacement. That picture, though. You hide the coffee cup.
Yeah, that's about right.
Thus concludes
Good
Herlock
note.
Sholm's great deduction of this painful puzzle.
I believe it. How about you? Speechless. See, look, he was right on track. Everyone's speechless.
Your silence as well, the fellow jovial warbling rather rings in the ears, does it not?
Mr. Shome, I must say something rather troubled too. Does rather trouble me.
Pray, Miss Susato, do tell.
His Royal Highness doesn't appear to have moved a muscle since we arrived. See, that's what I was worried about.
Huh. And you haven't said a word either, Iris. Mr. Sholmes has it all right. You might as well own up to it now. Your reasoning isn't entirely without substance, I must admit. One other thing, Mr. Sholmes. Another grievance, Mr. Naruto? Surely not. Actually, I read the story of that case recently, the one that you were just describing. According to that, at least, it wasn't the King of Germany. It was the King of Bohemia. Goodness, was it?
Oh my god. Yes, that's quite true, Master Gotts. The prince testified to that in court.
Oh yeah, Gotts. I hate him.
In his words, I have come to see the great exhibition all the way from my home in Bohemia.
I remember the kid. I hated him because we called him Gotts, and he's like, you must call me by my full 5-name last name.
Wow.
Yeah. That's why the last name
Someone's
sounded
full
familiar.
of himself.
Yeah, and he's like Iris's age or younger.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
He's gonna have problems when he's older.
I would ask you to keep that minor error to yourselves. It could easily become quite the scandal.
I believe, Mr. Naruhodo, that it's our turn now to make some corrections to a number of minor errors that might have slipped in.
So, deductions can take like 20 to 30 minutes. You're right about at 3.
There you go.
So the question is... Well, actually, it's like 2:50. We have 10 minutes. You gonna be able to stick around through all of it?
My appointment is at 4:10, so technically.
I just don't know how much time you need to leave. Because I'm gonna do this regardless of not, because looking at the
No, that should be
guide,
good.
this is the absolute last thing in this chapter.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll see.
Just gonna double
I
check.
only have to get changed, so I have plenty of time.
Correction, conclusion, yeah. Okay, yep. Yeah, there's like a couple texts after it, but that's it. Yes, even Mr. Sholmes is willing to admit he might be slightly wide of the mark this time. Well, it's clear that Iris is definitely hiding something. We need to find the truth behind this mysterious scene. The one truth is incontrovertible. My favorite coffee cup is no more. So, shall we embark again on a joint presentation of Herlock Sholmes' logic and reasoning spectacular?
Oh, Lord.
Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Now, like with cross-examinations, I'm not reading everything again. It's literally the same thing until we hit another orange.
I don't think he's singing. It's clearly the radio.
Not in high spirits. I think it's the phonograph. Oh, the gaze of those bright young eyes. It is not the herbal tea. What? some mix of herbs and it gives you the urge to sing.
Goodness, I should like to try some.
And I'd like to hear your singing, but this man, just how long does he intend to keep up with that tune, do you suppose?
As I said, he's been stock still the entire time, and if you look closely, his lips aren't moving either. That's what I mean! He's not
yes.
singing!
It's the good old bohemian throat singing.
Oh, God! Starts making weird notes.
Yep.
So I'm not exactly sure what's actually responsible for the spirited singing. But I suspect the answer lies at the end of Iris's gaze.
How about a gramophone?
Take that!
That's a little obvious. Reason for the man's mildly irritating warbling is revealed by the gramophone. Indeed, for no well-bred gentleman would break into an obscure folk song when making a social call. In other words, this gentleman isn't singing at all. In fact, it would appear that the fellow is unconscious.
Hopefully not dead.
Ah, the music seems to have stopped now. I ask you, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? Why would I have purchased a recording of that gibberish? How should I know? I love it too, it's great. Well, never mind, on with the deduction. Who exactly is this gentleman availing himself so thoroughly onto the settee? He spread a lurk skull, we probably won't be going much longer. As it happens, a number of years ago now, since the gentleman urged to engage my services.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yes. I'm still gonna say the full name again because it's fun. It's problematic. Ordered to conceal his noble identity. Yes, right. Yep. The gentleman's name was Wilhelm Gotteschick Sigismund von Ormstein. The King of Germany. If memory serves, the mask worn by the gentleman was identical. Well, so the King of Germany, no. No, it is not. Although we've already established that it's actually the King of Bohemia. Jones
It
intends
seems Mr. Jones intends to persist with this Germany theory for some reason.
to think of it. The young prince was wearing a mask as well, wasn't he?
Master Gotts, the boy whom you had in tears.
Don't remind me, or anyone else.
Do you suppose all members of the aristocracy of mainland Europe wear masks?
Sure they do. Well, probably anyway. Point is, the mask doesn't belong to any king.
That's right, as we... well, no.
We
So you can identify the true owner of this mask.
Oh, we just get to present it. Cool.
Wow, I
Take
don't
that!
know who it could be.
Cosmo Sogi.
Shock.
Yes, there can be no question. That mask belongs to Cosmo Sogi. In other words, my memory sublime is unreliable. Only you could try to make that sound positive. Cosmo's mask has been languishing on this metal chest for several days. Doesn't explain why this gentleman is wearing it now. Now it's a simple matter to determine our guest's true identity.
Why don't you just take off his mask?
After all, the gentleman's unconscious.
Hopefully.
We need only to excuse ourselves in advance, gently lift the mask, appear beneath it. I don't believe it. I do.
Father!
I'm afraid, Mr. Zato, you must be mistaken.
No, I think not, Mr. Jones.
It would appear that our logic and reasoning has once again revealed the truth. Mysterious visitor.
Is my unconscious father, Yujin Mikotoba.
I love that she gets the deduction scene. Logic and reasoning, or just looking and saying?
Right?
That picture. You shouldn't need to solved.
No.
Topic number 2.
Girl silence.
Yeah.
Clearly the coffee cup.
Clearly. She leaves us with one meaning. Silence. Truth. Yep. I don't think it's the knapsack. That's a 5-pound note picking out from Iris's knapsack, is it?
Oh dear, I can't be sure. Most money we encounter is in coin form.
No, I'm not even sure if you've seen any banknotes here in Britain at all, have we?
But anyway, Father would never have paid money for Iris's silence.
He seems like the silent type himself, though, judging his present state. There's some other reason for Iris, I suppose.
Perhaps what Iris is trying so hard not to give away with her eyes is something entirely different.
So... anything I see is the chest. That's the only thing I really see her looking.
Right.
Take that!
Well, that was actually correct. Go. Easy weakness is concealed inside that metal chest. An excellent observation. For close-up, there's something different about the chest appearance. Oh, I didn't even notice that. Blocked at all times. Yet now, the catch is open.
Uh-oh.
And the latest has something to do with your refusal to speak, Iris. Simple enough matter to incite you to speak, I'm sure. You merely need to open this chest.
Uh-oh.
Hit Mikito in the face.
No! Hurley, don't!
Ooh!
Oh.
That's how Mikitomo got out. Mr. Schultz!
Hurley!
They're also the same exact pose.
Oh my god.
He's dead.
Never! Oh, Hurley, I told you not to open it.
So you found your voice now, Iris.
Ah!
In other words, what just happened clearly reveals the truth here. Yes, the real reason for your silence until now is...
Oh my god. This is somewhat different than the usual dance of deduction you perform with Mr. Jones, isn't it?
Yeah, yes it is.
Oh.
Well, he's left me alone on the ballroom floor, so I'm going to have to dance this next part solo. Anyway, I need to get to the bottom of this for my own peace of mind. Now then, Iris isn't usually the silent type, so...
You mean you don't actually know the answer yet, despite that knowing point of the finger before?
Susato. As a man needs to point his finger first and think later.
Oh, well, if you say so.
We'd better examine Iris more.
Better examine it more closely and try to rescue the situation.
Oh, what's that? Nothing. Get on.
Just turn that upside.
Thanks. Reason this afternoon seems suspicious to me today.
Oh, is it?
Sizable. It's quite sizable enough for a sizable secret, that's what I say.
Perhaps it is, but we certainly can't open it and look inside without Iris's permission.
No, you're right. Who knows what might pop out and punch us? Greek question?
Oh, skirt? There's something down in her skirt.
Miss White's dress isn't really close, doesn't she?
I've always thought this skirt is rather delightful.
Sizable, all those frills. Sizable enough for a sizable secret.
You seem to be rather fond of that idea. But you certainly can't go investigating further.
I'd like to point this out. This was Moon's idea.
Well, look, it just highlighted it, okay?
Looked like that was what I was thinking.
Is there anything like on her arms anywhere? I don't know.
I feel like we're looking at the wrong thing. I don't think you need to be looking at Iris.
Are you able to click on anything that's outside of here? Cup in his hand, the thing beside her. It's like so focused on her, so it's like, is this what you want me to look at?
Yeah.
The only two things that anything goes off for is the backpack and the skirt so far.
Wait. What's that in her hand?
Oh, oh my god.
Chat box.
Take that!
Right? And the post kept going in front of me.
I'm supposed to see that. Yeah, thanks, Hawk. We saw it. Yes, the real reason
Behind the text box. That's
behind your
evil.
bot. Mr. Sholmes was thrown into the air before. Just before you called up to try to stop him, you slipped something out from your mouth. Something is the key now in your hands, no doubt. The key to the chest. That's why she couldn't talk.
She could. She just didn't want to let everyone know she had a
You're so clever, Bruno.
Now it becomes clear. Thanks to Mr. Shum's graphic demonstration, you can well imagine what happened here.
But
Mr. Mikitoba also opened the metal chest only to be punched into the air and sprawled on the settee.
But wait, that doesn't explain all the facts. What about the stylish scarf and the cup of tea, and above all, why would he be wearing Kazuo-sama's mask?
There's still so many unanswered questions.
Well, for those curious details, I can only think of one explanation. Clearly, an unbelievable miracle took place in this room. Isn't that right, Iris?
What do you want? Said flying the mask is. Oh god. Oh, everything. Oh my god.
Consider how the room was arranged before this whole painful experience took place. Koba opened the chest, completely unaware of what awaited inside him. The mask flung into the air as he was, only to land neatly on his face when it fell back down.
There's no way.
Teacups journeyed through the air when it caught on the unconscious professor's finger.
I would more so believe her loss. You need to say the stylish scarf.
Actually, just a tablecloth. This is the great detective's office, after all, a place of miraculous deductions.
Oh, Lord.
Do you expect anything less?
God.
Yeah, you're right. It happened exactly as you said. Brilliant, Bruno.
This concludes Fionesque Naruhodo's great deduction of this punchy puzzle.
All those things. Why would you open it with stuff on it?
So then, I want to make a fresh pot of tea for us all.
Objection!
That was Sholmes. I didn't know he had an audio line. An admirable performance, Mr. Naruhodo. But in the final act of the show there, you missed everything of importance. Mr. Sholmes!
Is he already up? The other guy's still not dead.
Yeah. If you would cast your mind back to my earlier deduction. Iris, clearly you're hiding a great secret. God damn it, we came back to this point.
Of course.
She is. Look on her face. Holmes must be right. Whatever the great secret is, the cat isn't out of the bag yet. What are you talking about? I've been out of the bag for weeks. So you do it again.
Now!
So bye.
You were attempting
Months even. Mrs. Shim or Mr. Shim's cup?
It's been smashed when Professor Bigatopa opened the chest.
Oh dear, so many things seem to have been broken here.
Now the deduction is taken a different direction. Iris doesn't seem to be trying to hide the broken cup anymore.
In other words, her great secret is something else.
Put our observational skills to work here one final time then. Whoa!
There's something on the bottom of the piece of paper.
Case file.
Oh boy.
Take that!
Shattered.
I love that effect for the
Look,
deductions.
yeah, at least we got this one faster than the key.
Yeah. You were attempting to respond with that case file. Iris, as you know very well, nothing escapes the attention of the great detective. Are you sure?
Look, Sholmes is a genius.
He mistaked Bohemia for Germany. I beg to differ.
It was all that. Don't you understand the ways of Sholmes? It's to train you to be a better detective.
Yes.
All according to plan.
Visit Scotland Yard's autopsy laboratory earlier today. Dr. Gorey informed
Time
us
for your deception.
that the autopsy report of Keith Van Zeeks had gone missing.
Nice. Yes.
Keith Van Zeeks? Yes, I do seem to recall. That some years ago I asked to see the report in question. You were with me, weren't you, Iris?
Was this immediately under Iris?
No.
I
You mean it was you, Iris? Those papers you have there are...
I'm sorry. Oh, forgive me.
Poor Iris. Here it is.
To hide,
Hide
the
the
case
case file.
So,
Sad. Deduction complete. Elementary.
elementary, my dear Wilson.
Yep. In truth, I would like to have thought I could have predicted the booby-trapped chest. But it caught me completely off guard. I was very nearly the late consulting detective, Herlock Sholmes.
I am sorry, Hurley.
You mean this autopsy report really is...
Yeah, I took it from the lab, even though I knew it was very important. Was there something in it that troubled you, Iris? Not exactly something that troubled me. Something I'd been looking for. When I saw this report, when I saw the writing in it, I knew it was Daddy's.
Oh, yeah. Dr. Wilson. The writing.
Your father's writing? What do you really mean?
So sad. Iris? That's hard for her to talk about. Forgive me for interrupting, my dear fellows. Mr. Sholmes, what is it? I feel as though the poor unconscious gentleman on the settee has been somewhat forgotten.
The father! I mean, you were collapsed on him.
Perhaps we should find our guest somewhere more peaceful to rest.
How is he not awake yet? Sholmes is up.
I know, Mr. Naruto. Well, he did land on him. Yes. Be so kind to lend him your bed. We must do our very best to make him comfortable, I feel. Yes, of course. I'll help you carry him up.
So will I.
Oh no, I can manage it alone, thank you. You have tea to enjoy. You wouldn't want Iris's brew to stew.
A stew brew, stew brew.
Because there's no better way to make the professor comfortable than dragging him upstairs like a trunk. I wonder, perhaps that was deliberate. Maybe Sholmes is making himself scarce to give Iris the chance to talk more freely.
Let's use this opportunity to talk with Iris. And find out what's going on.
In tears, Daddy. Would you like to tell us about it, Iris? About your father?
I'm sure I told you before, didn't I? That Daddy used to be Hurley's partner.
Oh no.
Yeah. And that notes all the cases they solved together and kept inside that metal chest.
This is not how she's gonna find out, is it?
Maybe that's why he was saying something earlier.
No.
Something about a brain restart.
Yeah.
That's right. Hurley told me, you see?
No, he commented about saying there's the restart, and it was
Oh.
that was
okay.
when we were meeting Bori.
Ah, gotcha.
He said that's Daddy's somewhere far away now, so we can't meet.
That's one way of describing it.
Then, when I secretly unlocked the chest and read through the papers inside, I started to build up a picture in my head of what Daddy must be like.
It's only natural.
You're just like any other girl of your age. I heard that Daddy was a professor of medical science, so I studied and took my degree too.
Well, yeah, that's only natural, I suppose. At the age of 11, she has a medical degree.
You're not quite like any other girl of your age, though. But there was one thing that I could never find out. Daddy's name. His name wasn't anywhere on any of the notes that he'd made about his work with Hurley. But then one day...
That's what happened, is it? You saw this autopsy report, you finally managed to work it out, is that right?
Yeah.
Was the handwriting in the report that caught her eye?
When I saw the writing on that report, I could hardly believe it. I know that handwriting. I thought to myself,
It was the same as the writing you see on your father's case notes?
exactly. I was desperate to compare the two properly. I needed to see them side by side. I asked the doctor in the laboratory, but I was told I couldn't take the report away. And even worse, I was told that was the first and last time we'd be allowed to even look at it there.
You decided to steal it.
When I compared the autopsy report with the case notes I had here, there was no doubt. The handwriting was exactly the same. It was Daddy's. And the signature of the coroner at the bottom of the autopsy report read Dr. John H. Wilson. Oh, no, I took you.
No, that was me. That's fine. I've stolen lines from you all stream.
Right? We're just doing it to each other. So that's how I finally found out. I learned Daddy's name at last.
I see.
Ever since then, I've called myself Iris Wilson. And that's also when I had the brilliant idea of writing stories all about Daddy's exciting times with Hurley. Aww. I decided then and there I'd write the adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
My brain keeps auto-correcting it.
Yeah, but it's purposely
Oh, Iris, I
misspelled.
had no idea the stories had quite such a deep personal significance for you.
I know, right? But my brain still wants to auto-correct it.
Yeah, they don't autocorrect it. It was hard in the very first time I met him in case 2.
You're just like, Sherlock Holmes! No.
No, Sherlock Holmes. Let's see why the officer is so part-time now. Why she was prepared to break the law to get her hands on it. Must apologize, Iris. Oh, of course it was him. This is really all my fault.
Hurley?
Made a promise, you see, that until the time was right, I'd keep the details about your father a secret.
Oh boy. I know, I've been very naughty. I'll take the autopsy report back to Dr. Corey and apologize, I promise.
Yes, we'll go together, I think.
Then let me look after it for you until we get there.
I'll touch your first What a look at this autopsy report. They're gonna take it away from us. Coroner Dr. John H. Wilson. Clint died between 9 p.m. and midnight on the 31st of May. Single stab wound to the heart, other superficial external wounds, indicative of a duel. Oh wow, look at that signature.
Hey, fancy.
Vital evidence recovered from victim's stomach during autopsy. Credit to Inspector Gregson for teaching doctors autopsy. No internal trauma noted anywhere in the body. That's a weird autopsy report.
I must go water my herbs, I think. I'll see y'all later.
Poor Iris, she must be feeling awful. I know Mr. Sholmes is here for her, but still.
What? How? What's the meaning of this, Mr. Sholmes?
Mr. Sholmes? Oh dear me. So, you've noticed, I see.
But that would mean...
What's the matter, Miss Susato? He turned as white as a sheet.
It's this autopsy report, Mr. Naruhodo. The one from 10 years ago. The writing isn't Dr. Wilson's at all.
What? So confused. What do you mean? How can you possibly know that?
Because I know the writing very well. This writing... It's my father's.
Oh. He was
What?
the assistant on it. He was the primary assistant on this autopsy. If you remember when we talked to Gory, it was Dr. Wilson preceding the autopsy. Gory was the secondary assistant, and
And her dad, yeah.
her dad was the primary assistant. What? Professor Mikotoba's? Indeed, it's true. And now you know. My dear fellows. No, I don't know anything. What does all of this mean, Mr. Sholmes? It's the idea that's slowly forming in my mind. It's just too extraordinary to believe. Please, you have to explain.
Oh, right. Gotta set off at least one more bomb.
I don't know what talk's going on about. This autopsy report was actually penned by Professor Mikotoba then. Makes no sense. It's not possible, surely. Possible, my dear fellow. Pray, take a deep breath and think again.
You're right in some ways. It actually makes a great deal of sense.
It does?
10 years ago is when Father returned to Japan after his extended studies tour in Britain.
Prior to his return, there was Dr. Mikotoba engaged. Of course, he was an assistant in Dr. Wilson's laboratory learning about forensic science. As an assistant, he would have aided with the dissection work, making detailed notes. He assembled a full autopsy. When it was complete, the head coroner would check the contents and put his signature on the document. Oh no.
So wait, then...
So everything on this document was done by Mikotoba except for the signature.
Oh.
That's what I'm getting at here.
In other words, the only writing of Dr. Wilson's in the report would be his signature at the end.
Yep. See. Virus got the wrong end of the stick. He saw that and assumed the whole report had been written by Dr. John H. Wilson.
Which is very understandable, of course.
Complicated situation. Yeah. Your partner. Thinking about it, most of what we know about you, Mr. Sholmes, comes from the published stories of your exploits.
Yes, the adventures of Sherlock Sholmes were written by Iris.
And we really have no way of knowing what's fact and what's fiction.
Why, this whole story is fiction. You want me to tell you.
That's true. Most troubling for you, my dear fellow, I'm sure. What about the supposed partner of yours? Did he really exist or not? Ah, you've gone straight to the point, I see. That's stealing your words again.
And please come straight to the answer.
I believe Iris explained it in one of her installments. He's a trusted comrade and the only person I can truly call a friend.
And this partner of yours truly make a record of all your cases? Or are his notes really stored inside that metal chest?
Absolutely, my madam. Absolutely. So where's your partner now? You rarely meet. See? Lives on the other side of the world.
Huh.
If this autopsy report and the records of all your old cases were penned by the same hand, and the autopsy report was written, though not signed, by your famous partner, then there would only be one logical conclusion. Oh no. Pray, impress me. Your partner would have to be Yujin Mikotoba. There it is. Thanks for the bomb.
Yeah, I put that together as soon as I said it was.
Yeah. In other words, Miss Susato's father. On my word, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes. You're coming along wonderfully. You have hit upon the method at last. Finally grasped the art of deduction. You mean to say... Allow me to introduce you to my great friend and partner, Mikotoba! Professor Mikotoba? He's awake.
Yeah, I wonder how long he's been awake for.
That's what I want to know.
Does this mean
So you're the real Dr. Wilson?
Oh, no, my dear. I'm still my old self, Yujin Mikotoba, your father.
Oh, of course.
Oh, this is too much for Suzuto-san to take in. I must say, though, how my old friend has attained to be a worldwide celebrity and is a great mystery solver and the greatest mystery of all. Still remember the first time we met? Oh, pray remind me when it was again, Mikotoba? 16 years ago, Sholmes. Ah, yes, quite. 16 years ago. Right from Japan with Chishiro and Genshin. I was in search of lodging close to the hospital, some comfortable rooms at a reasonable price. The rents are devilishly high in that particular area. Right, so I decided we need to share some lodgings and the expense. I was fortunate enough to be introduced to Sholmes, who found himself in a similar situation. I was a callow fellow back then, a mere shadow of the great detective you see before you now. I was working at the hospital's chemical laboratory at the time, indulging my curiosities for little gain. The situation where cohabitation led us to pursuing cases together, you see. Hard to believe, it was a mere 6 years. We had a great many adventures. Last year, Mikitoba's stay in Britain. The most infamous case presented itself. A case in with which your father became rather familiar with yourselves, the professor killings. After the trial, Sheshiro and I summoned back home.
Hardly surprising, given the circumstances.
And there you have it. As you know, all the details recorded by my trusty chronicler remain in that metal chest. It's just amazing. Still doesn't answer my question, though.
What's your question?
Who's Iris's father?
I'm wondering the same thing.
Professor Mikitoba really is Sholmes' famous partner.
Father,
Goodness, my dear, what a cutting look.
as your daughter, I'm very proud to learn that you were the great detective's great partner.
God, don't, Hawk, don't say that! I'm gonna have a hissy fit with you here shortly, Hawk.
Are they sisters?
That's what I'm worried about.
Well, hey, it's now we don't have to break the news to her that her dad's dead.
Yeah. You're proud to learn that you are a great partner.
It'd be a good thing, right?
But nevertheless, there's another mystery that I really must ask you to explain now.
No. And that is...
You know very well what it is. The unresolved matter of Iris's father.
Yep. Ugh. Ah, of course, I must have forgotten about that one. I should have seen this coming, I suppose. Iris's father.
Oh. Iris told us
Nothing, well, not Iris.
that all the notes about the great detective adventures that are in that metal chest were written by her father. Isn't that correct, Mr. Sholmes?
Is indeed what I told young Iris.
But if you're Mr. Sholmes' partner, father, and you wrote all those case notes, then Iris's father must be you.
Huh? On my word, Miss Susato. You're coming along wonderfully as well. You two have hit upon the method at last. Finally grasped the art of deduction. What?
What you've always told me, father, is that my mother died when I was born 16 years ago. And you left me in grandmother's care
my God,
while
I
you
forgot
embarked
about
on your
that.
study of War of Britain.
That's right.
And I've always accepted that. But all this about Iris,
Oh, there it is. Susato-san's ice-cold stare. Oh, now hold on a minute. It was very complicated. I mean, it's really not what you think.
then perhaps you'd like to explain exactly what it is.
Ooh, Susato, take it down. Now the eyes go from ice cold to red hot just before she... Oh, really? You've got the wrong end of the stick. Sholmes, say something,
I mean,
man.
Sholmes is encouraging her, so...
Yeah. What can you think about it, Sholmes? That's quite enough, my fiery fellows.
When did he get all dressed?
When did he get all dressed up? Yeah. Well, I don't like to interrupt this exciting exploration of the past. Mikitoba and I have an urgent matter that requires a short excursion.
But it's very late, Mr. Sholmes. Where must you go?
Why, my dear madam, is not that not obvious? My partner and I must pursue our natural enemies. So, get your coat, Mikitoba. The game is afoot. But
Again, I
Sholmes?
don't think the game's afoot.
I must give Susato a full explanation. Later, my dear fellow, later. Our carriage awaits downstairs already. Haven't changed one iota, have ya? I mean, really, I visit our home after 10 long years. When I open that chest in a fit of nostalgia, I quite inexplicably pass out. And as if that weren't enough, I eventually regain consciousness. I plunge straight into all of this.
Father, please. Go over to the shelves now.
Huh?
I've no doubt whatever happened, you were acting in everyone's best interest. I trust you completely.
Use the time.
Vincent is a great detective and his partner off for the renowned adventures together. This is more than I could have hoped in my wildest dreams.
Sounds like you might have to leave soon. This went a little longer than I thought. We're like 36 minutes over right now.
Right. It's all good.
Very well then. Yeah, let's speak again later. So, I believe your own work is done for the day. Wish you the best of luck for tomorrow.
Thanks.
Naruto, good luck in battle. And in reaching a decision. Oh yeah, that.
With everything going on, kind of slips your mind.
It does. There's just
So much happened that day that I barely knew what to do with myself. It would only be later that I'd come to realize how amidst the chaos I'd unleashed were all the clues I needed to finally unearth the truth. And that all the turmoil was necessary to give me the resolve to see everything through.
End.
Chapter.
End of chapter. We have one more. And
Chapter.
according to the guide, it is 4 parts. Trial, investigation, trial, trial.
That's a lot of trial.
Mm-hmm. Well, they kind of broke up this case into 2 parts, it feels like.
Yeah.
Well, I think you have somewhere to be. I will not hold you
Very
captive any
shortly.
longer.
We're leaving at 4.
Okay. I am already over my slot, so I think I'm going to end stream. Before I do that, who's live? Nobody. Don't you love streaming on Saturday with nobody live?
Time for me to go live. I mean, someone's live, but they're doing SOH. I don't know if you want to raid someone like that.
I don't really know much going on in SOH. I don't.
Yeah,
rate
that's totally fair.
SOH. Oh, I guess just another
Look,
Saturday
you just
without a
gotta,
raid.
you just gotta learn Zelda.
I have a lot of games I have to focus on first. Have you not
I know,
looked at
right?
my backlog?
Have you not looked at mine?
No, I didn't think you had a backlog account.
No, I've got the other account.
I have both.
I just have one.
I have both because I use the rank one for stream and the backlog for everything.
Yeah, ranks my stream stuff, and I have a lot of stuff I want to stream.
Yeah, as we know.
People want me to go back to. I think several people want me to go play Lizard Dragoon on account of I play stuff and stuff happens to it. I'm just waiting for the. I have officially stated I'm just waiting for the PC port to finish the next update, and I
Okay.
think I'll play it
Ooh. Well,
because
let's hope-
there's a PC port of it that they've been working on. It's the same type of thing as SOH. It's decompiled and
Okay.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like you can replace models. They're working on they're working on HD textures and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Hmm. That sounds fun.
That's what I'm waiting for. I'm just waiting for those textures to be applied, and I'm all over it.
Yeah, I figured you would be.
I love Legend of Dragoon.
I have never even heard of it, so if you stream it, I'll definitely watch it.
I mean, it's old. It's PlayStation.
Oh God.
I'm literally like I could stream it from my PlayStation 2 if I wanted to, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna do the PC port.
That's fair. All right.
So.
Well,
Exciting.
I think I'm gonna push the button.
Bye, Hat.
Bye,
I'll
Moon.
talk to you later.
Thank you for hopping in.
Of course, it's fun.
That's fun.
Prepare for dissection.
No! I push button now. We don't want to get dissected.
Thank you for pressing the self-destruct button. This ship will self-destruct in 3 minutes.
God damn it, Moon's on this scene too. Goodbye. I mean, dissection. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed the Catterday Saturday stream. I guess this is what they're going to be called now, especially with all the voices. In actuality, studio mode, grab the 1080p camera. Oh, that's right. It's in use by VTube. I want to just turn off tracking just for a brief moment because I want my camera back. There. So, I hope you all enjoyed the voice acting from Moon and I. I had a blast. I really do enjoy when people hop on comms and it makes it more fun, more enjoyable. Anyways, as it is March, we do have a deadline of March 30th. I do think we are still on pace to meet said deadline. We are going to be trying our hardest to finish this last case. So if we're doing 1 stream a week, and we have 4 streams left, that leaves Monday, Tuesday, Saturday, and Monday. So we'll be done the Monday of Yu-Gi-Oh! Which means we'll have a Tuesday all to ourselves to do whatever we want. Albeit maybe Shanghaiing somebody's Discord. But as I just said, we do have this to get finished. So we will be playing Great Ace Attorney 2 on Monday, 5:30 p.m. And we will be continuing this trial, it looks like, in a new case, the final case of Great Ace Attorney 2. And then we'll be pushing through for the rest of the month. And then we'll do some Yu-Gi-Oh! And then we'll probably do some smaller, like, more fun things. Won't start anything big until after I've got my 2 Yu-Gi-Oh! Events off and done with. And then we'll start Persona 4 Golden. Because that's next on the plate. I know a lot of people who would be enjoying watching that, especially a certain CoCom that was on today. Because I still have not beaten Persona 4 Golden, and more reason to play it to beat it. And then after that, I actually might do two games at once while we do Golden, just because Golden's long. I mean, Golden's just as long as both Great Ace Attorney games combined, so nothing too crazy. In the meantime, I hope you all guys had a great stream. I know I did. And I hope you all have a great weekend. If you don't know who Moon is, go ahead and check her out. You'll see all the stuff on the stream ending stream. I hope you all have a great night and a great weekend. Catch y'all next time.
Not wrong.
He gave me $100. It's nice. He stole my heart.
Jump this?
Yes, he can jump that. I'm not kidding. Fierce Deity
No.
is broken. Yes.
I'm in some disbelief here, but